Yo, what's going on?
Hello, everyone. How's it going? It's
Is it
been a
going?
while, Ryan, so it's good to be back.
I know it's been 2 months. Last time I checked, I was like, oh man, it's been 2 months. It feels even
Wow.
longer than 2 months, honestly.
It does. It does. But yeah, man, it's great to be back. I mean, like, I know we've both had a lot on, respectively, and or trying to figure out the weekend when you're free and you haven't got your son, or like I'm not working. It never tends to work out, but we've done it for you guys. We made it work.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be back and talking
Me too.
about a new subject. Today we got the box office flops, which I had chatted about it to you offline. It seems to be a really hot topic right now amongst like everybody, and
Mm.
everybody's kind of got their idea as to why like certain things are failing and not working out. So
Right.
um, it's a really interesting topic, which is why I wanted to kind of bring it to our podcast and talk about and just talk about with our
Definitely.
viewers and what they think about it as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think anyone who's watching live right now, especially while Ryan's monitoring the chat, yeah, chip in with your contributions. Let us know about movies that's flopped or ones that we discuss and your thoughts on them as well. Or after the fact, leave some comments as well.
Yeah, definitely. And as of last stream too, like we want to try to keep it on the topic that we're discussing. Like if you have a question or something that is outside the topic, we will answer it, but we just won't answer it when we're talking about the particular subject, just to stay on track so we're not wandering off the subject.
Right.
But we appreciate you guys commenting and spending your Saturday with us. I mean, the fact
Yeah.
that you guys choose to hang out with us when you could be doing anything else, I definitely appreciate it. So we definitely
De-
appreciate it. So thank you all for hanging out with us.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, it really means a lot. And if you haven't already, go subscribe to that guy right there,
And that
Ryan
legend over
Livingston.
there.
The invisible man over there.
Not the wall. Don't subscribe to the wall.
We're off to a good start.
And we have a couple people actually already commenting. Got
Awesome.
Nick in here, ready to spend my Saturday. What's going on, Nick?
Nick, what's going on, man? Hope you are well, young sir. Hope you are well.
And we got Dave in here. What's going on, Dave?
Yo, Dave, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well.
And we got Jason in here saying what's up. Hey, what's going on, Jason?
Hey, Jason, how you doing? Yeah, good to see you here.
Sai's in here.
The legend Sai. Hey, Sai, what's going on, man? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday.
And we got Patrick. I think you're in the wrong chat, bro.
Hey, Patrick.
But hey, anyway, man.
Hope you're well. Oh, man. I mean, there might be some A24 movies that's flopped, probably.
It's possible. I mean, they got amazing marketing, like we always talk about. It's weird how they do their stuff, really.
It's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in though and leaving some love. Yeah, again, leave some comments down below. We'll get to them. So I've written some list of movies that I've researched that's flopped. Ryan's written some. We don't know which is on each list. We didn't convey before the stream, but probably have similar ones. I'm guessing.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think in terms of like maybe kicking the conversation off, Ryan, I don't know what you think, but maybe just talk about like cinema in general at the moment.
Yeah, I think cinema is kind of a weird thing at the moment because it's, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that depend on somebody going to a movie right now. But I think like the biggest thing like that I see is there's just so much content. There's so many movies coming out. I mean, we go to the cinema every week, but how many times are we messaging each other and we go, "Oh yeah, I'm going to see this movie," and you go, "I've never heard of it. I've never seen a trailer." So you know what I mean? Like, there's just so much different stuff. So like, I think that would be reason number one is there's a lot of content, which I think that's why it's very helpful for smaller movies and smaller channels like ourselves to review those kinds of movies and get the word out there. Because like people won't go see it because they don't know about it unless it's there, which kind of brings on to the point of just like advertising in general, because advertising really is everything. It really is. And now advertising has kind of switched, because before, back in the day, to me, It was more of like, like you see a trailer on TV, or, obviously people went to the cinema, but now it's very reliant on social media, Instagram,
Right.
TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's
Mm.
so reliant on that. Like there's such a community for it. So I think that definitely depends on it. If it's not being talked about on Twitter or Instagram, I mean, how are you going to know about it, And another thing is word of mouth, which just, a lot of people that may not go to the movies that often, maybe their friend, they might see it or something, and just that word of mouth to get people to go out. But then there's
Right.
other factors too, I believe, like, obviously pricing is a big factor. If you take a family of 4 out, you got the tickets, most of the time you're going to want snacks, drinks, all that kind of stuff. So I think
Mhm.
that plays a part into it. So I
Yeah.
think now, because the fact that a lot of these movies, when they come into the theaters, they now have such a small window before they're on digital.
Yeah.
So even like a mid-sized movie, like take like a movie like Immaculate, for example, that movie came out. It's super like mid-range, I would say, like as far as like, like Sydney Sweeney did a lot of the marketing to kind of help elevate it a little bit, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's more of a mid-tier movie. So the chances of somebody going to see that, they'd have to be a really avid horror fan or somebody that really likes to go to the cinema to see horror movies.
Right.
So a lot of people, they look at a movie like that and they go, "Oh, I'll just wait till digital," because they know since COVID, like it literally will be on that digital for like 3 weeks from now. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So it gets to a point when there's so much content that some people just go, "I'll just wait." So it's more like a movie. Like I think for the masses, it has to be something that really appeals, like really
Mm.
worldwide to people. So like obviously Marvel, like everybody wants to go see like the newest Marvel, because most people don't want to
Yeah.
wait 3 weeks and get spoilers, because that's a big movie and that's what they feel like they want to be a part of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I
Right.
think there's just a lot of factors in with it, but I think ultimately it does depend like how marketable is that movie, you know? And then if it's something where it's like, something mid-range like an Immaculate, most likely people aren't going to rush to go see that at a theater. So
No, yeah, I completely agree. I think the marketing's a big factor. I think the main problem, as you said, I mean, how many times have we talked off camera where, what was it, Silent Night last year or
mhm,
start of this year? I think I can't remember.
mhm.
But that movie came out for you guys in America, and then like a week later, it was on streaming straight away,
Yeah.
or a week or two, and then it had like a 4K physical media with steelbook edition releases.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's just like examples like that. People's going to be like, well, hold on. I can either pay the cinema ticket price, which is $12, $13 when I went with Perez in 2022,
Mhm,
or you can pay that same price but stream it at home a week later.
mhm.
And because no doubt people who go see that will go see with their partner or their friend or whatever, and it's cheaper just to have a night in and stream it
Right.
instead. As you said, like cinema tickets, like a bit of news. I don't know if the guys in the UK have heard this. I don't know if you've heard this, Ryan, in America about Cineworld. But there was an article published today that Cineworld might be going for a restructuring, which means that some of their 100 branches they have are going to close
Doesn't surprise me.
unless they get so bought out and obviously someone takes it on. But I was talking to Emma about this, and a lot of the reasons we were saying, if you go to Cineworld on Monday to Wednesday, I think it's between like 10 and 4 o'clock, something like that.
Mhm,
Like tickets are like £5, so maybe $7, $8 a ticket,
mhm.
which is not too bad.
No.
But then after that time, the ticket price doubles.
Yeah.
So straight away, I mean, how many cinemas probably in America where you go in a short mile distance, there's another cinema right next to it, but a different chain.
Yeah. I have plenty.
And yeah, and if it can't compete, and then the price of their combo deals are just keep going up and up every time I go in, it seems like it's gone up. People's not going to pay it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think going back to the movies, though, I think you're right. I think the most important thing, especially about these movies that flop, we're going to talk about, I think a lot of it is word of mouth.
Yeah.
So that movie's getting tanked, and everyone's saying, "Yeah, this is absolutely terrible." You're not going to go rush out to the cinema and go and see it, right?
Right. But I was reading this today. A lot of people really go off those Rotten Tomato scores and the cinema scores. Like people say, like we have people comment on our stuff going, well, I don't care about the Rotten Tomato score. I just see it for myself. That's great. I'm glad people do that. There are people out there, but there's a good majority that literally follow that stuff to a T. And they're like, 25% for that movie, I'll wait till streaming or I won't see it. You know? I mean, they really do go off that stuff. So
It depends, I guess, who you follow critic wise. You know, like obviously the Rotten Tomatoes ones are usually the Rotten Tomatoes certified approved critics, usually the bigger top dogs and stuff.
Right.
You know? Or there might be people who watch channels like me and you know, just general moviegoers, just give our thoughts and be like, oh yeah, hey, might check that one out, or actually, yeah, I'll skip that.
Yeah.
So I think it depends, like who you follow, what media outlet, mediums as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
Too. Yeah, that's very true.
I agree. So, like for example, one movie I've got on the flop list here. So this was from this was from this year. Perfect example to kick things off. It was in the thumbnail. Madam Web.
Oh yeah.
Now, Madam Web, you know, infamous, right? If you guys haven't seen Madam Web, then you know we're gonna talk about Madam Web for a second. But Richard, so the budget for that was roughly 80 to 100 million.
Yep.
For that movie, and the box office was estimated 100 million. Now, at that budget, 80 to 100 million, I don't know if that's accurate because they never account in the fact for marketing.
Yeah, they don't.
And I felt like Madam Web was marketed quite heavily. Like I would see trailers for it, posters for it, like YouTube teasers, teasers on Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. But the movie's terrible.
It is bad.
Yeah. The movie's not great. Of course, the whole Sony verse, what's come before it, doesn't play a helping hand into that movie.
Right.
But I think one other thing, the reason why it also flops is like the actors and actresses you have in it. Because the part of that budget, that 100 million, is going to be paying Dakota Johnson a nice fee for doing a starring role.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, maybe she hasn't been in massive movies apart from maybe 50 Shades, primarily what she's known for.
Yeah.
But she's still going to cost more than an unknown actor or actress. Then you got Sydney Sweeney, who's a rising hot property in Hollywood, so she's going to cost some money to get in there as well. The other cast, the guy who played Uncle Ben, I can't remember that guy's name, but he's been in quite a few movies, so he's going to cost money to get on board as well. Plus the other actors and actresses, whether they're known or not. So straight away, you've got some of that budget going on your actors to try sell this.
Right.
Whereas if they maybe got some lesser known names, yeah, there might be less, maybe wider audience may not know who they are, but it would save you some budget, especially in this whole mess of the Sonyverse.
Yeah, and that goes into also choosing the best person for the part too, because we said like Dakota Johnson, like even when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, really, Dakota Johnson's in this? Like she's not the right person for this. So
no, I don't. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know who I would have casted.
Yeah, I don't know who I would replace, but I mean, if I had options in front of me, I'd be like, oh yeah, she's a better fit. But no, I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I think that may have affected it a little bit, and then in fact, like just Sony. You know, they're not, they don't have a good track record.
Yeah. Well, we both said about Dakota Johnson that it's not the fact that she's not a good actress.
Yeah.
But she's just given rubbish material. Like she plays the same part. She kind of expresses no emotion in her performances. So how can you really latch onto a character that doesn't give the audience anything to root for?
Yeah. And she has no power, spoiler alert.
Right. In a way, it should have been Sydney Sweeney, who was Madam Web, and Dakota Johnson as the nerdy girl.
Yeah.
And it probably would have pulled in more star power because Sydney Sweeney's probably a bigger name at this point.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, because I don't know if maybe they casted her before she kind of started to catch on a little bit because she's just started to kind of catch on. You know, because like obviously like they did Immaculate, and you know that was in the like development hell for a long time, and then they finally got that
Right.
made. But I think they got that made because now she's starting to be a hot commodity ever since like Anyone But You. So, you know, it, I think it maybe it was the timing there, maybe because she wasn't
Yeah.
exactly up to there yet. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It
I
can
mean,
be a tough
maybe.
decision.
I mean, maybe. I think also what goes into that budget though is I think we also found out that Madam Web had like 3 or 4 people to write that script.
I don't know how.
I don't know, but then again, you're paying 3 or 4 people to do a rewrite of a script or a team to work on that. When really that movie should have had like 1 script writer, maybe 2 maximum,
Yeah.
but 3 or 4 people to write a clunky superhero movie. I don't get how.
And part of the problem too is like the writers, I don't believe, did a movie. I think they just did TV. So that is a whole different ballgame because you're just doing episodes where you're
Right.
writing for like maybe a 45-minute episode versus whatever I think is an hour and a half movie or something. But still,
Right.
like trying to write for TV versus a movie, I think it's completely different because
Yeah.
you're spacing out dialogue and you're spacing out certain events and everything like per episode versus a straight movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I believe the director mainly worked on a lot of TV as well. S.J.
Yeah.
Clarkson, I believe. So
Yeah.
they skimp on the directing and the writing team, but then they splurge out on the actors and actresses.
It still didn't help.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I agree completely about that movie. Because even though the budget may have been 80 to 100 million, yeah, it definitely doesn't account for advertising and everything else. So, but it's always crazy. We always say the same thing. It's always funny how certain movies don't make a certain amount of money, but don't you worry, they're gonna give it a steel book. But in this case, it's not a nice steel book. It's an ugly looking one.
I saw AJ's movie place. So shout out to AJ if he watches this. He actually bought the steel book, and I was like, okay, you know, let's see what like the inside looks like. Let's see what you get, and
Mhm.
it's terrible.
Is it just plain blank in the middle?
Pretty much.
Oh God.
Yeah, the worst movies, guys. Have you ever noticed the worse the movie is, it gets a fantastic physical media release. Gets
It's
like the
true.
high end top spec physical media release you can get. But a movie like Barbarian, that's a good movie, gets nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's another thing too, that like that's kind of becoming common with some movies too. Like some movies just don't get releases anymore, like anything at all.
Nah.
Actually, we'll talk about a few other flops when we get
Have we
into
got any
it.
comments in the meantime, Ryan?
Yeah, let's check
Share
out what we
some love
got.
with the guys that they're coming along.
Let's see what we got. Dave says Inside Out 2, he thinks going to help a lot. So we'll see how that goes. I've heard possibly 80 million for that debut. It is the only Pixar movie they have this year. So that
I think it will do well because it's a known IP at this point. Inside Out, the first one, was very successful. It's a good movie from what I remember.
yeah.
And this one is coming up towards the summer, kid family friendly movie. You can go take the whole family. And a Disney movie as well. Great animation. Pixar always knocks it out in the park.
Yeah.
So I think it will be successful for sure.
I think so too. Dave, I agree with you.
Me too.
Easton says Universal definitely needs to raise their VOD gap. Fall Guy came out digital 3 weeks after release. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think part of that, Easton, is when it fails like that, they hurry up to rush to get it out on VOD because they're worried if they wait longer, then that takes away from their gap of making any kind of money because people just forget about it. So they are trying to keep it in, viewers' minds, so to speak.
Fall Guys on my list for later.
Let's see.
I agree.
Josephine's in here. Hi, Josephine.
Josephine.
Saying movie studios should go beyond online marketing, given that online searches are algorithmic.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, it's tough because like back when we were growing up, Ryan, I know there might be people watching this who's older than us, you know.
Yeah.
But back when we were growing up, yeah, you're right. It would be like TV advertisements, maybe the local newspaper. I would see being like, oh, you know, go see Spider-Man June 17th, whatever. Toys R Us when that was around. I remember going in Toys R Us plenty of times when a new Spider-Man movie comes out, and the whole figure line was out way before the movie, so you got people excited for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But now Toys R Us isn't really around anymore.
Yeah, it's gone.
Many people don't read newspapers to get the news online.
Yeah, she's mentioned in here movie studios should turn to print ads and flyers. I don't know about that. I don't know if that works.
I think if there was a demand, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But again, how many people like? I don't know, like how many people look at that stuff, you know? Like if I get like flyers, for example, we might get like a letter through the letterbox, maybe like an advertisement for like a local takeaway, like a pizza shop just opened up, be like, oh, you know, check us out. This is price for pizzas, whatever. Yeah. I believe you guys call it takeout. So that's the only kind of flyers that we get.
Yeah.
But again, you got to print all them flyers and you got to post it through every letterbox.
Yeah.
In the whole of England, in hopes that some people's going to take that flyer and be like, oh, yeah, I'll go check out that movie on release day.
And I'm going to be honest, most of that stuff I get, I don't even read, dude. It goes right to their cycle bin. So, I don't know. I think that's...
Same here.
Yeah, I don't think that's a viable source for, you know, marketing, personally.
Nah, honestly, Ryan, same here, I put recycling bin. So the thing is, the amount the company would pay to do flyers for, you know, to then hire people to go out and put it through a post box, a letterbox. They might as well spend that on a TikTok ad or an Instagram ad or Facebook. It's going to reach more people.
Well, especially too, like, so I understand where she's coming from, but if you have to think about like the audience, like, because you're just saying with a TikTok ad, most of your audience that are going to the theaters are much younger. They're not going to be, you know, like 50 to 70 going to the theaters. Not to say that they don't ever go, but let's just be honest. Most likely a 56-year-old, I mean, not saying that they don't, but most of them aren't going to go to like a Madam Web. You know, not to say there isn't people in that age range that don't, but I'm talking about the majority for that age bracket.
No, I agree. So, like, for example, that would be good for that movie One Life that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So that One Life is a perfect movie for, I mean, I enjoyed it. I know you didn't mind it.
Yeah.
But that movie's more for like the older audience. Like that audience, you said 50 to 70-year-old. That would be a movie they would probably go rush out and see and be like, yeah, that's great. Or that Summer Camp, because it's got primarily an older cast in it.
Right.
Like, you know, Diane Keaton, they'll be like, oh, I remember her from my young days, you know?
Right. So in that case, a flyer, I think, would be better suited for that audience. Because that's the demographic.
Right. But then the problem is, how do you know where every old person lives? You know?
Yeah, that's tough. Well,
you can maybe get like rough neighborhoods.
Yeah.
But at the same time, them old people some of them might be bedbound. They can't get out the house, you know?
That's true too.
So that's kind of more word of mouth, I think, with those ones.
Yeah. It's definitely a difficult thing to market films these days, I think. But
yeah.
Let's see. We got Darkroom Review saying, hey, good afternoon. What's going on, man?
How you doing? How you doing, Darkroom? Hope you're well.
You got Jason Emanuel saying, I haven't seen you guys in a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Jason, the legend. How you doing, Jason? Hope you're well.
And we got Sin in here saying, yeah, it's been pretty bad for the box office. Hopefully Bad Boys 4 will perform well. So speaking of Bad Boys, and I mentioned it in my review. So for me, I don't know how it is for you when you go to the cinema, like during certain days or whatever, but most of the time I'm going during the week, like a Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes a Friday occasionally. It just depends how the schedule lines up. And when I go during the week like that on opening day, most of the time it's like around 20, 30 people. I went to go to Bad Boys on Wednesday night because there was an early access Dolby screening, and dude, I had over like 100 people in there. It was, I mean, it was crazy. I didn't expect that whatsoever. So it goes to show that people still go to the theaters, but it really depends on the movie, and I think sometimes it depends on the actors as well, and maybe the familiarity. Like Bad Boys has a following, because this is the fourth film. So I think like it just depends on that aspect as well. Which is why I think Disney is going to do a lot of sequels to stuff now, like familiar properties. Because I hear people say all the time, well, Disney's making all these remakes and stuff. Well, you didn't go see the original movies. You guys didn't see Wish. You didn't see Lightyear, and you didn't see Strange World. Like they all didn't do very well at the box office. So when you don't go out and support those movies, that's what you're going to get every single time.
But they've already announced a bunch of sequels. I mean, Inside Out 2, we just spoke about. I know it's Pixar, but still Disney Pixar.
Yeah.
They've already announced Toy Story 5, which they're making. Frozen 3, I believe. Zootopia 2. I mean, that would be pretty cool, to be honest. But but it's still known IPs, and those. So, like, some of the movies we're going to talk about, I've got some here that are Disney, and they've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, it's really crazy too, and there's a whole bunch of other factors with Disney as well. But
yeah, of course. But you're right, more original ideas, and people's not supporting them.
Yeah. Let's see. I think this comment. Jason says, I was going to say, put Sydney Sweeney in the lead and your box office might be better. I think Jason likes Sydney.
Well, to be honest, though, I mean, I made a video on this, Ryan. I think you saw it.
Yeah.
About Sydney Sweeney. You should put her in Anyone But You. She's the main star.
Yeah.
Put her in Immaculate. And her marketing team, or herself on social media. So I mentioned this in my video, very quickly talk about it here, where every time she released that movie, Anyone But You and Immaculate, people on TikTok, mainly maybe people less than 20 years old, maybe slightly older, they would make it out of the cinema reaction video, reacting to that, or dancing along to Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten song, for example.
Yep.
But again, linked with the movie. And she would repost that on Instagram.
Just genius.
Yeah, so of course, if you get that reposted, how many people want to be noticed by a celebrity?
Oh, yeah, they love it.
Yeah, and they think, well, hold on, if I go get a cinema ticket, I go make a reaction video after I've seen that movie, because you got to obviously make it from after seeing it in the cinema.
Right.
What's the chances of Sydney Sweeney noticing me? So people's going to be like, oh, hey, great, I'm there. And Anyone But You started off with not great, and then she started that, and it rocketed at the box office. Did really well.
Yeah, and then like what's her name? Her co-star in there too. Like he's from
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell, that's his name. Yeah, like he's kind of a hot commodity right now too, because he just did Top Gun Maverick, and then he's going to be in Twisters. So I think he's going to help. I think Twisters is going to do really well.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really excited for that, and then they just they're releasing the original Steelbook with the original movie. So I think that's going to keep helping hype the movie as well. So so genius at that.
But I think that's a good idea to release the original on Steelbook when the sequel or spin-off is going to come out soon, because it gets people remembering that original movie to then go see the new one and be like, oh, okay, I want to see the first one. See how this all kicked off. Because is it a direct sequel
for Twisters?
Yeah, or is it like a spin-off in the same universe vein? Or
I'll be honest, I'm not sure.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm guessing with the name though, Twister and then Twisters. I'm guessing, but
it sounds like a sequel. But I don't know. I don't think the characters are related to anything from the original, but who knows?
I mean, that movie was made years ago, though.
I think it was 95.
A long time.
It was something like that. It's something like that.
Long time, my friend.
Yeah. Let me see if we have anything else that relevance to our... Because we got a lot of comments in here. Oof.
Hey, swing by some, man. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys are
Appreciate
killing us by the sounds of it.
Nick says, I think films like Madam Web will do okay in the end. It will live for a long time on VOD and streaming services, and then in the UK and the freebie services. Unsure how that pays, though. Yeah, because it's on Netflix right now over here, Nick. Not sure about over there.
I don't know how much a movie's got to be clicked or streamed to make money.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's going to be less than a ticket sale. I'm guessing it would be a lot less than a ticket sale to equate to the same amount of money. Sorry, a lot more than a ticket sale. Apologies, not a lot less. A lot more.
Yeah.
You know, like say if a $10 movie ticket for you guys, it's probably going to have to be streamed quite a lot of time just to make that $10 threshold.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a channel every week that goes over like the streaming numbers, and I haven't seen it in like a top 10 or anything. So I don't know what it's doing numbers wise, but it's not up there. Actually,
I think it depends in the future.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on how the Sony universe goes. So Venom 3 and Craven coming out, I think, both this year.
Yes.
But maybe if they do well, people might be like, oh, hey, let's go check out Madam Web because it's in the same universe of sorts.
Yeah.
Or if there's a movie in the future that references Madam Web, people might be like, oh, hey, let's go check out Madam Web. But I definitely think it'll do okay on streaming. I think there'll be people who go check it out for the sake of it because they've heard how bad it is.
Yeah, and I do feel like there'll be people that are watching and go, oh, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not good, but it's not bad. Mainly because I think sometimes when you hear that hype or in this case, no hype, your expectations are just like kind of like, there's no expectations. So then you watch it and you go, well, it's not good, but like I'm not mad after it. You know what I mean? Versus like some other people that go into it and they may have different expectations.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was utterly terrible though.
It's not the worst of the year. I mean, we got some other movies, Drive Away Dolls.
Oh, that's on the list.
Which, yes, I actually wanted to talk about that. We'll get back to the comments. We'll go to another movie, but I thank you guys for killing the comments. Thank you. Got a lot more to get to.
Oh boy, Drive Away Dolls, man.
Drive Away Dolls. So, many of you guys may not know about Drive Away Dolls as far as like money wise and what it made. So
you're lucky.
Have it here. You're lucky if you haven't watched it. So, the budget of this movie was only $20 million, which is not that much. But it only made worldwide $6.8 million.
It's a big loss.
Yes.
Especially for a smaller studio.
Yeah, and then like it's one half of the Coen brothers too. I'm not like super familiar with their stuff, but yeah, I actually when I went to the cinema for that, I mean, it was a decent crowd. The theater wasn't empty or anything. Because I went on opening night. I think there was like maybe like 40-ish people or so. But the movie's just not good. The movie's not good. It's tough to sit through. And I mean, I don't even know what the Rotten Tomatoes score was, but it was pretty low from what I remember. But I didn't see it advertised that much. I don't know if you did.
I think I saw the trailer once or twice. And that was about it. And
I think that was for me too. And then there was no buzz for it. So that kind of goes into what we talk about with, with buzz. I mean, now granted, the budget isn't bad, but it's not really a movie that draws people in really either by the premise. I mean, we know after watching it.
But again, I think the problem is the casting.
Yeah.
Like for example, we're going to talk a bit about spoilers about these movie guys. So if you haven't seen them, get the hell out of here and come back when you have. If you don't care, stick around. But like Drive Away Dolls, right? So in the trailer, they show Pedro Pascal, right? And he's a hot property at the moment in Hollywood. And he's a good actor. I like Pedro Pascal. But he's in the movie like 2 minutes screen time maximum.
Yep.
Now, I wonder how much his cameo cost to get him to do that.
Imagine a couple million.
Yeah, and bear in mind that was a cameo for like 2 minutes. So, again, does he really need, like, could we have not just had a random person do that role for maybe $5,000? Give them $5,000, do a quick cameo and get out of there?
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe they were thinking. I don't know. Maybe they were thinking like it would be some talk of the town because he was in it. I don't know.
But then the problem is, though, is once someone goes to see that movie, maybe a Pedro Pascal diehard fan goes to see it, they're going to badmouth it afterwards because they're like, oh, he's only in the movie for 2 minutes. I came to the movie for him.
Yeah,
So straight away, it's going to get panned because people are going to be fuming because the marketing is promising Pedro Pascal, and you get him for like 2 minutes of the movie. Then you had Margaret Qualley; she was the main star.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Geraldine Viswanathan, if I've got that right.
Yeah, Viswanathan.
Viswanathan, and she's okay from what I've seen.
She's not a big actress by any means.
Was there anyone else famous in it? I can't remember.
Matt Damon.
Oh yeah, again another 2-minute cameo.
Yeah.
So again, how much does Matt Damon cost to have as a cameo? Probably a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
Factor into that 20 million budget.
Yeah, especially the stupid scene he was in.
And I think the reveal was awful, man.
Yes, it was.
One of the worst reveals in the history of movies.
And that's why it has.
I don't know if we can say that without getting banned on YouTube.
Yeah. And that's why
let's just say an adult toy. Let's just say an adult toy.
There you go. Yeah. And it's funny too because like they're protecting the case like the whole time. They reveal it's just like wow. So
dumb.
Yeah, it really was. It's such a shame that you get those actors in a movie like that.
And then Miley Cyrus was also a cameo as well.
Yes. Yeah, that whole premise right there was just utterly stupid.
So again, how much does Miley Cyrus cost for a cameo to be in a movie?
And you would imagine most of those would probably be at least $1 million a piece.
You'd think so, surely.
Because like, what else could they spend the money on? Because it's not like they had like a bunch of big explosions or,
It was primarily maybe the cost to rent a place for a day shooting.
Right.
Obviously, cost the vehicle, right? So that's a cheap old vehicle that they had anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple of houses, which will be just on like set builds, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And a studio, so I can't imagine that will be a fortune. The practical effects maybe cost some money for sure.
Right.
But yeah, apart from that, I think it's all gone on the cast. And then the marketing, there was hardly nothing. So you can't say they spent all the marketing in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely didn't market it.
And then that got a Blu-ray and DVD release for you guys, right?
It did. And then it also is on Peacock right now. So it's on VOD.
Okay.
So.
Did you get a steelbook?
No. Doesn't need one.
I'm shocked.
No steelbook for that. And actually, when you go out to the store, you can't even find the Blu-ray. You gotta order it because
good.
Target didn't even get it at all, I don't think. And then I think Walmart just got the DVD, which is fine. You don't. If
you guys haven't seen Drive Away Dolls, don't put yourself through that. Please spare your life and go watch something else.
Oh man, yeah. That was a bad experience.
It was. But yeah, that was it. That was on my list. That was a big flop as well.
Oh yeah.
For a smaller budget movie as well.
It's just kind of rare, really, for that to happen.
Yeah, but again, it depends on the marketing, the cast, as we spoke about, how much the money they spent. They probably could have made that movie, I would have thought, for half that budget.
Probably.
Getting lesser known actors in it.
Well, even if they did do it half the budget, it still would have failed.
It still would have failed, but at least it may have gone from 20 million to 10 million to making 6.
Yeah. So that makes a difference.
A bit. But yeah, it still would have failed, yeah.
Let's see, what do we got in here? The model studio started falling during the world's end time was not smart, in my opinion. I think it has been hurting the box office for a while now. Yeah, I think so because everybody kind of got used to like sitting at home. And I mean, I will sit here and admit to you that I did that a little bit. There was a couple movies that I skipped to theaters and watched at home. So I was guilty of it as well. But I mainly am at the theater every week. I am at the theater every week, but yeah, I can totally see where people got used to that model, but I understand the reasons sometimes, but I think other times, sometimes you got to go out and you got to support some movies, go out, maybe once a month. Like, I mean, you can go out once a month and go see something. I think everybody could at least do that at least once a month. Just sport.
I agree. I think the problem is, man, you're right. I think when that happened in 2020, I think the problem is like these movie studios were like, oh, well, we can't put movies in cinemas right now, that they're closed.
Yeah.
And then that's when we really started to get old movies produced again on Blu-rays or 4K re-releases.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it made money. And that's when you realize, oh, hold on. There's people out here who want to buy physical media still. Great. And how many, like, multiple releases per month nowadays, we get a classic title on 4K or Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is like nowadays, especially I saw, like Bad Boys has just gone on the cinema. They've already announced it for Steelbook release and 4K release straight away.
Yep.
Same for Fall Guy. That got like a really nice Steelbook as well.
Oh, I didn't see the Steelbook for here. We must not have got one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got a Steelbook over here. And it's a cool Steelbook. But again, they're just thinking, oh, well, the physical media collectors are going to buy this straight away. They'll probably make more money off a physical media sale than a cinema ticket at this point.
Yeah, well, I think there literally, legitly is some people that will just skip the theater release and just buy the movie because it's literally out within, you got, a month and a half, 2 months versus like, like this even comes to that comment. He says, I remember Star Wars took like 3 years to get a VHS, maybe more. There used to be huge delays. So, there's not that huge delay anymore. It's just, it's straight to physical pretty much, or VOD, either or.
And that's the problem. I think if the studios waited longer to release the physical media of these titles, there would be more demand for it.
Right.
And more people waiting to see it on streaming or like Barbarian, right? So that came out 2 years ago, and we still not had a physical release. But people like me and you are waiting for the day they put that on pre-order, and that's 2 people buying it already.
I know many people in the community that want it, so I don't know what they're waiting for at this point.
I honestly think if they released it, it would sell out. On initial release, it would sell out, 100%. Yeah. But again, that goes back to it not being released straight away. I think that even took a while to get on streaming.
Yeah, I can't remember how long, but it was a little bit.
Yeah. But like Star Wars, as Nick said, back when, 3 years. Imagine if you had to wait 3 years to get a VHS.
That's insane.
You're going to be at that queue 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock the previous night to get that on release day.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. Wasted opportunity.
Sai says the only reason I see for the short times between cinema and home release is to try and tackle piracy.
Yeah, so I can understand, because I mean, come on, like how many times, as we spoke about, it'd be on the cinema a week later, it's on digital.
Yeah,
and straight away someone's going to be putting it on the 7Cs for people to check out in HD quality as well. So you're not watching some camcorder in a cinema.
It used to be that way. Like it used to be like 10 years or more ago. Like you'd get one, you go, oh, like the camera's shaking around. Now, I mean, you get a nice copy. Like people rip it right to the internet.
Oh man, yeah, I agree. I'll leave it there. I agree.
Yeah. So,
but it's true. It's true.
Definitely. Good comment, Si. Let's
It's very
see.
true.
Need to stop making movies with characters we don't care about and make Spider-Man and Batman movies.
I mean, I can't say you're wrong, Jason. I'll be honest. Spider-Man makes money. Batman makes money. There you go.
But we're getting Joker too. So
that's going to be a big hit.
I hope so.
I really do. I think it'll be a big hit, especially with how the first one is.
Oh, one thing I did want to tackle and talk about, and this is something that I've been noticing and more of a demand for, that I don't know how it is in the UK as far as certain setups, but what I've noticed is there is a bigger demand for people to see stuff in premiere formats, like for instance, like a Dolby or an IMAX. And honestly, there's a lot of theaters that don't have that technology or have that setup or have like updated seats and stuff. And I think that personally, for a theater experience and for if they want people to go back in the theater, like you have to invest money. Like to me, I'm a big believer in investing money to make money. So I think there are theaters out there because, for example, the theater by my house, they don't have updated seats. They don't have an IMAX. They have nothing special about that theater. It's just a regular screen with like the old time kind of seats. There's no recliners or anything. So right away, you've now taken a large part of the audience, out of the viewing experience because you're asking somebody to pay $13, $14 for a ticket and you can't even give them the best quality seat or the best quality theater equipment. So how do you expect people to go to a theater when you don't have said equipment? So I think that's a huge problem over here.
So I would say I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So to give an example, a bit like you, Ryan. So the Cineworld. So I go to Cineworld.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Cineworld Bolton every time I go to cinema. It's usually there. Usually, now they have updated their cinema in the last few years, and they've got a recliner seat, not like a full-on recliner seat, but like you can tilt your chair back like that, right? Like it goes back about that.
Okay.
So it's cool. At least it's updated compared to like what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't mind how it was because I quite like the old-fashioned seats.
Right.
But I can understand, chairs have evolved in years. You got recliners now, back when you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But then the cinema by my house, like every screen you go to, they've got full-on recliners. You can be lying back with your feet up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're at home, when you're watching a movie, you want to have your feet up. You want to relax, maybe some popcorn, some nachos, whatever you're eating.
Right.
But you're comfortable. So if you get that same kind of cinema experience, that probably will implore people to go out to the cinema because they're like, oh, well, it's equal quality or better than what I've got at home. But whereas you said, like, if it's a recliner and then people, sorry, if it's not a recliner, it's just a bog standard old fashioned seat, but then you've got recliners at home, why are you going to leave a recliner for an old fashioned seat?
Right.
You're not going to do that. I think there's a demand for like IMAX.
Yes,
I think it depends on the movie. Like a Dune. Like a Dune movie, people want to see on the big screen, and IMAX, full sound, Deadpool, Wolverine, probably Joker, Batman, Spider-Man, stuff like that. But
pretty much any action movie, though. I would say pretty much any action movie because there's always a demand. Like action is the top genre, so pretty much any action movie should be in an IMAX.
Right, but like a Drive Away Dolls, no one's going to care about an IMAX.
No, that doesn't need to be.
Nah. So yeah, I think premium format definitely does take into account, depending on what the film is. Yeah.
Well, because I really only say that because there have been a few times, and I haven't done this on purpose, but there have been times where, so like I'm trying to catch a showtime for something, and the times don't mesh up or whatever with when I get off work or whatever, because I don't want to sit around waiting for hours, waiting for a movie. But like for instance, I went to go see Furiosa. And I went to like a 4:30 time, and I went to just a regular showing. I mean, there was Dolby, and there was IMAX, and there was, all the premium formats. Every single one of them had a pretty good amount of audience. I went to a regular standard. It was me and one other guy. So if that doesn't tell you that
Wow.
people want the premium format, I don't know.
Right.
So that's what I mean when I say there's a demand for it, because if I know I can go to the standard and no one's gonna go, you know.
I agree. I think the problem is, like you, Ryan, as you said, like in the UK, like where I live anyway,
Mm,
there's like one cinema or two maximum that have IMAX,
yeah.
but they're not close to where I live. They're
Hmm.
not part of Cineworld either, so I have to pay like a really high price if I want to go see it in the IMAX,
Yeah.
which personally I don't want to do because I've got my cinema pass.
No, I get it.
But if the Cineworld next to me had the IMAX format and it was maybe like an uplift fee, maybe a few pound, because like, for example, the cinema I've got, they've got something called Super Screen,
Hmm.
where it's a bit of a bigger screen, a bit of a better sound, a bit more like Dolby sound,
Hmm.
and it's about maybe $4 extra per ticket, like your currency,
Okay.
to go see it. Like a lot of the time, I will go specifically to choose that format if it's on. One, because the sound and screen's better picture quality and sound quality,
Right.
and two, hardly less people are in those showings. So like, because they don't want to pay the extra fees, I'm like, right, put me in there, so there's less people in.
Yeah, dude. I don't blame you in any aspect for that.
Yeah.
So let's see. Whew, you guys are killing the comments. I
We'll
cannot
get
keep
to
up with all
we'll get to
these.
some comments for sure. But yeah, if you guys are watching, if you prefer the IMAX format or just standard, let us know as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm definitely curious on that, because you also I go back to what your point you're saying about how you would have to drive further to
Yeah,
go somewhere. I know that plays a factor in a lot of people's selection as well, because I know, as we know, Dave Interpreting the Stars, he doesn't have a theater by him, so that does play
I
into a
didn't.
factor of like, watching everything on digital or something. Like I get it. Like somebody doesn't want to travel more than an hour to go to a movie theater, because you got the gas and all that extra stuff,
So
So
so that's it as well, Ryan. Yeah, so like if like, the gas is expensive, then people's gonna be like, well, hold on, I'm not gonna waste a trip to go to cinema to waste gas. Or like Dave, he has got a cinema that's like 5 minutes from his house now.
okay.
But before that, his nearest cinema was 100 miles. Why are you going to drive 100 miles to the cinema?
Man, and if you did, man, you had to spend the whole day there. You'd have to make a trip out of it.
That's what I said. I was like, if you ever go, Dave, go see 5 movies in a day and go home.
Literally, we'd have to like pitch out a tent and get there when they open.
Yeah.
I'm here. I got my, pitch my tent. That's terrible, dude.
Be making a video. I spent all day in the cinema. Right, guys, here's my tent.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. No, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Definitely. What do you got up next on your list?
Okay, yeah. So speaking of one we just talked about, Furiosa
Okay.
is on the list. So at the moment, it had like 160 million budget.
Yep.
So far, it's made about 120,
Yep. That's what
which
I got.
ultimately isn't too bad because it is still on the cinema at the moment.
Right.
I've not seen it yet. I'll be honest. I will get to it. But I think one of the problems why this is failing at the moment is I believe this released for Memorial Day weekend for you guys, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yep.
For me, I wouldn't really say that's a movie for Memorial Day weekend.
Nope.
Personally, like I'd say like a Bad Boys is a movie for that kind of weekend, or like an Inside Out 2, possibly.
Right.
Kind of like a family movie, or like even Bad Boys. You don't have to be too old to go see that movie as a family.
Mm-hmm.
But like Furiosa, I think the problem is, despite how good everyone says Fury Road is and who love the old Mad Max movies, that like they've done nothing with that IP for about 10 years.
Yeah. It's a long time.
I mean, they made a video game, I think 2016, 2017, but that's about it. So personally, you're relying on people from 10 years ago thinking, oh, there's a new movie here, let's go see it.
Right.
But then also, it's a prequel, and we already know the fate of Furiosa from Fury Road.
Right.
So there's no stakes to the movie.
Nope.
So So it's kind of just a pointless movie at this point. Maybe if they released it a year or two after Fury Road,
It makes sense.
while it was still hot, everyone was loving that movie. Everyone was wanting like the black and white version of the movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably would have done really well. But I think they've left it too late. I feel like it's an idea he's gone back on because he's got nothing else better to do at this point, George Miller.
Right.
And I just don't see it breaking the box office, I'd be honest. Or it might just make budget. I'd be shocked if it made a lot more.
Well, also too, and I watched another video on this about like the breakdown of it. If you think about it, when you think of a Furiosa, it doesn't really appeal to a mass audience because the problem is the percentage, like they did like a percentage and they broke it down by like male, female, and like, you know, percentage wise. I don't know how they did this, but they broke it down and it was like 72% male went to go see that movie. So it predominantly pertains to males. So you're not getting children to go watch that, and you're not getting most women are not going to go watch that movie. Let's be honest. So it's not like a lot of times when it's a movie that is more of mass appeal, like it appeals to everybody or like a good large portion of a group. And this just, you know, pertains to males. And then like majority of the people that I watch their reviews have not watched the original trilogy. So and the movies were made forever ago. So, and most people know it from Fury Road, and that's it. They haven't watched the other ones. Right. So, is it, you know, are those people that watch those old ones, do they care about a prequel to a movie that hasn't been released, like you said, for 10 years? And I think the answer is no. So, you know, because most of the people, like, not to say that there isn't older people that wouldn't go see it, but you know, most of the younger reviewers that I watch, they haven't, like I said, they haven't watched the old ones. So I don't know. I just think that plays a role into it as well.
Yeah, I definitely think it plays a big factor into it for sure. I think it's the fact that it's a known IP, but it's not a hot property IP.
Right.
Whereas, like, if it was a Star Wars and you waited 10 years for a Star Wars movie, that will be tickets galore. Or like Deadpool 2. How long's it been since Deadpool 2 came out?
I think it was 2018, I think.
So 6 years later,
yeah,
we're finally getting a third one, and the ticket sales have been crazy popular for that third movie and hasn't even released yet.
Yeah, I think also with that one is because they're combining obviously Wolverine and Deadpool, and then Deadpool is funny. And Ryan Reynolds is a hot commodity. With Furiosa, like when you think of the Mad Max movies, it's like, do you think of a story? Not really. You think of like world building and you think of action. You don't think of a lot of character development versus something like maybe like a Deadpool, like it's comedy and it's action and you're getting to see Wolverine and it's Marvel and like there's been no other Marvel movie. So like it has like all this hype because there's been no Marvel movie, because now everybody has gotten a break from Marvel, because remember, like we were all kind of on the train of like, screw Marvel, like they're making garbage now. But now that Deadpool is here and like they've seen the trailer and like they've seen Wolverine in the trailer, like they're totally stoked to see them two team up. So it just has so much hype with it versus like a Furiosa. It's like, oh, so they're releasing a movie that should have came out X amount of years ago, and it's a different Furiosa. You know, it's not even Charlize Theron. So, you know, not to say that Anya Taylor-Joy is not a good actress, but why is she in the role? You know,
it's a bit like releasing it too late.
Yeah,
a bit like Black Widow from a few years ago. That should have came out 10 years prior to that.
Right.
And that movie didn't do great, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like why would you want to watch a prequel about when she's dead?
Sure.
You know? Yeah. I don't know, dude. So yeah, Furiosa I mentioned on here.
Yep.
Yeah. Not great. And again, I haven't seen it, so you know, I'm yet to comment on if the movie's actually any good. mixed audience. From what I've heard, like yourself, we're pretty mixed on the movie for most part. I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
But again, I know going into that movie, right, Furiosa is going to be absolutely fine by the end of it because Fury Road.
Yeah.
So if Anya Taylor-Joy's life in danger, I'm going to make, well, okay, so how's she going to get out of this one? She's going to be fine. So she's going to have to get out of it.
Well, exactly. You already know the result.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I got one I'm going to mention. And then after we mention this one, guys, I'll get into the comments because I know we're like severely behind. But we will get to you guys, I promise.
We'll get to them, guys. Don't worry, we haven't forgot you.
So I don't know if you have this one on your list. I actually have not seen this movie.
Okay.
But The Book of Clarence.
No, over here in the UK, it got maybe 2 showings a day for less than a week, and it was off the cinema.
So this one had a budget of $40 million, made $6 million. Really bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 40 million.
And the first thing I thought was they released it in January here. So that's a terrible dead month. You know, the box office is not booming in a January. And this was like one of the first movies to kick off in the year. I think it was like the second or third week here.
Well, we only got that movie about a month ago.
A month ago? Okay.
Yeah, because remember, I think I texted you and I was like, hey, we're getting Book of Clarence. You're like, what? It's already on like physical media over here.
Yeah, it already had the physical media when you got it.
Yeah, so we got like a really limited release, as I say. I just didn't have the time to go check it. I wanted to, just to see what it's like. But yeah, I didn't get a chance. But yeah, man, that was a flop and a half.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I haven't seen it, but I think it has to do with the fact that they kind of mess with like the religion portion about it. And I think that turned a lot of people off.
Right. Yeah, because it did its own tail on it, isn't it?
Right. So I think that turns people off.
So I'm looking at the cast list for that one. Lakeith Stanfield, I know who he is.
Yeah, because he was in Haunted Mansion, I believe.
Yes, he was.
He's in Haunted Mansion, yeah.
And I think James McAvoy and Benedict Cumberbatch cameoed in that movie.
Right.
So they will cost some money towards that budget. Caleb McLaughlin, like the guy from Stranger Things.
Okay.
So he was in it. And I think a few other actors and actresses, but I personally don't really know them. I'm just looking on here.
And neither does America. Because they didn't see it.
Neither does the UK, apparently.
Well, when you only have 2 showings a day, what is it, 12 and 3 o'clock?
No, I'll tell you what it was. I remember vaguely the showing was either 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 8 o'clock at night. and a bit like you, Ryan, like I hate waiting around for movies.
Yeah.
Like last night, I'll give you an example. When I watched The Watchers last night, so I finished work at 6 o'clock. And then there was a showing at 7:30. And I was like, I don't want to wait an hour and a half. Because it would take me about maybe 30 minutes to get there, right? So I'd be like, well, I'm waiting there an hour, pretty much if I was to get there straight away.
Right.
But then I saw my listings. I was like, oh, there's a showing at 6:20. So I was like, if I leave here and I blitz it to the cinema, I can get there for past. And by that point, it's halfway through the trailers. So I decided to do that instead. So I was like, hey, at least I'm not waiting around an hour and a half. I can go see it. But like that one, like 1 o'clock at 8, I'll be honest, I think I had a chance to see it. But I think that day I was free from about 4 o'clock. And a bit like you, I was like, I'm not waiting 4 hours to then go out again to go see the movie.
Yeah. Once you're in for the night, like you're in for the night. At least that's how I am anyway.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Very rare I'll step out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, that was a stinker of a box office flop.
Yeah. Wow. I haven't heard really anybody talk about it, or very few reviews that I've seen. So
I honestly don't know who make these film times or what strategies or analytics they're going off. I'll be honest.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I'll see smaller movies come to AMC, like for instance, that Epic Tales movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that, and the problem was I couldn't see it because they only had two times. It was noon or 3:30. I'm working, and it was playing every day on
Wow.
those times. I'm like, I guess I'm not gonna watch it.
And that's a shame though, because like a movie like that, I can understand those times at a weekend
Yeah,
because kids are off, parents may be off work, so they've got time to take them, and that's probably ideal times to have that movie.
right.
But through the week, yeah, maybe an early showing, maybe like a 10, 11 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Uh,
do like a 5 or a 7 at
yeah.
5.
The thing is with Epic Tales, though, is we had that movie ages ago.
And I just got around watching it.
Yeah, like I'm not kidding, Ryan. We got in cinema. I did a review for it so long ago now.
It's been a year because I saw your review on
Yeah,
YouTube. I was like, oh my
yeah,
God, it's been a
and
year
and in
since
that
you reviewed it.
and in that time, we've also got it on Netflix as well now. So
It's crazy, like the different stuff that we get on each other's Netflix because we don't have
right,
that. But honestly, though, I think that's the perfect movie to put on Netflix, to be honest with you, because
oh
Netflix,
yeah,
they already lack a lot of the kids' movies because, like, a lot of the kids' movies here, like, they'll go on, like, Peacock or, um, other, like, Hulu and stuff because, like, Disney
mm,
owns them and all that stuff. So Netflix needs something. So a movie like that is perfect for Netflix, or a movie like that I reviewed, the Jungle Bunch or whatever, like earlier
yeah,
this year. That's a
yeah,
perfect movie to put on Netflix because it's something like the parents can just throw on, like if they're doing laundry or they're trying to clean, they need their kids to shut up or something, throw on Epic Tales, So
yeah. It's really questionable some movies that get on the cinema releases. Like I
yeah,
covered a few from even earlier this year. There was like a Norwegian animation movie. There was like a Russian animation movie.
interesting.
And those ones got like two showings a day, and the showing I went to, maybe like five people maximum in it.
Yeah.
A lot of time it'd be like the kid who was hardly entertained, never laughed at any jokes,
Yep.
and there'd be the parents usually on their phone. And here's me, a 33-year-old man, sat in the back just watching this animation movie.
I mean, sometimes they're not bad.
Nah.
Maybe so. I mean, in the case of Epic Tales, when I watched it, I thought it was okay, but like I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, like I thought Epic Tales was like a fun enough. Like I think like as a kids movie, I think it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I definitely think like if that was on streaming as a premiere, I think it would have done really well.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll get to the comments. I promised y'all. All
Yeah,
right.
guys, we've got a lot more movies to talk about, but we're bombarded, so let's get to them.
Okay, we did that one.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate it.
We got Sean in here. Hey, Sean Kenny
Hey,
in the
Sean,
house.
are you
The
doing well?
feature film seems small scale independent to me. Huge blockbusters just don't appeal the same. When everyone has 500 of them to stream from daily, most of their IPs are burnt out at this point too.
So I think it. I know we've just been speaking about this. So I think it depends on the IP.
Yeah.
I mean, we just spoke about Mad Max Furiosa, that why that hasn't done well. But again, like an IP like Deadpool, look at the excitement for that. Or
Sonic 3.
yeah.
I
Well,
love
here in
Sonic.
the UK in August, I think you guys have already had it, but they're putting like all the Spider-Man movies back on cinema.
Oh, nice. I think they are doing it over here. I thought somebody said that to me.
Yeah. But like for me, I'm going to be there every week to see the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
At least the original three, because I've seen the rest of them in cinemas, so those ones I'm not bothered by.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say, I
yeah,
think it really just depends. Honestly, it really depends. I think it can kind of go either way because, I don't know. It really just depends. I think marketing, word of mouth depends. I think there's a lot of things that go into it. Scores, what comes out that month, because you could have a decent action movie, but if you have a bunch of other stuff that month, something is going to get shafted and people aren't going to watch it. So in the case of like this year, like, I mean, this month we really just had Bad Boys, and then your other big movie, Inside Out for the kids, and then the other big movie is like Quiet Place. But is Quiet Place that big?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I think. Like, I think it appeals to some, but I don't consider it to be the big movie, of the summer or anything like that. But it's one of
So,
the bigger movies.
so I think it's an interesting month though, because I think with that, Ryan, you're right. I think at least with Quiet Place and Bad Boys and Inside Out, they're all different movies.
Right.
So they'd be like, right, you've got an audience where you can take your kids. Okay, when you haven't got the kids, let's go with a couple of friends to see A Quiet Place, or let's go with the guys to go see Bad Boys, for example. Whereas like there's not like multiple action movies at the same time with Bad Boys or multiple horrors, because that watches is going to last a week or two and it's going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, the marketing for it has been like, they've shown a decent amount of trailers for it. To be honest, and I said it in my review, I really didn't really pay attention to the trailer much, just because I try not to pay attention if I can, just because I don't want to know everything, because trailers give away so much crap, which I think that's another thing that goes into the marketing nowadays, because we always say like, and it depends on the person, I think, but I think movies sometimes, like movie studios, think that they need to include everything, and they try too hard to throw everything at the audience on what the movie's about, and like key points of it and key scenes. And when you're giving that all away, like, I mean, I guess in like the Marvel aspect that works, because people are going to see it regardless. But there are people that just cannot wait, and they have to see like every spoiler before they go into a movie. But I think in the case of like something else where, you're giving away key factors and key points to the movie, you're deterring people from wanting to see the movie because you've told them everything. Like, what is the point if you've said everything in your trailer about key stuff? Why would somebody want to pay $15 or whatever the price of the ticket is if you've just told them all in the trailer? They'll just wait for streaming.
Right.
So I think they need to be more careful on how they choose to edit their trailers and what they choose to give out. Like, for instance,
yeah, I agree.
Abigail, I was going to see that regardless, but if they would have made that to where we didn't know that she was a vampire and it was more a mystery, I mean, it made decent money, I guess, but it definitely would have helped if we wouldn't have known that, just to create more intrigue for the movie. But these trailers don't do that anymore.
Nah, they give you everything.
So that's part of the reason why on certain trailers now I try not to watch unless it's a movie I just don't really care about, and I'll just watch the trailer. But
yeah,
if it's a horror movie, I like to like have that intrigue to go in. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, every movie's got to have like 3 trailers to it now as well.
Inside Out had 3 trailers. They just released the 3rd trailer for that.
Didn't watch it.
I didn't either, but I just know that it doesn't need 3 trailers. But Disney is like really pushing movies this year. Like I don't know about you, but everywhere I went, I saw that Planet of the Apes trailer everywhere. Like they marketed that movie to death.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I was happy that it's been released, so I don't have to see the trailers anymore.
That is true. That is true.
Because even before the movie leaked, they had literally like 3 or 4 clips that showed like 10 minutes of the movie. I'm like, dude, this is not necessary.
Man, that's not good.
Yeah, let's see what else we got here.
Whew.
Sin, wow, that's cool. There were so many there on Wednesday for you. I didn't have a Wednesday show in here, so I went on Thursday at 3 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Let me know like how your audience was. Did you have a decent sized audience? I've been seeing. I was telling you yesterday. I checked on my AMC app, and like 3 or 4 of the showings sold out for Bad Boys. So that's great to see. So I hope it's doing well.
Definitely.
Let's see. Sin commenting on the Disney aspect. The problem with Disney is that they have let agenda get ahead of writing, and their quality is downgraded in general, which is why some of the original films haven't performed well. Yeah, I know people don't like their politics at times. I don't let that stuff bother me though. I just go and see the movie or the drama. Like, I'm always been like that. I don't care about the drama or the politics with it. I just want to go see the movie. You know?
Yeah, same here. Same here. But again, the thing is, though, it does affect certain people.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you're going to do that, you're then affecting an audience that's going to go see your movie, and they're going to boycott the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I've got a couple of Disney movies on the flop list, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Sounds good. Sin says both Anyone But You and Mac are produced by Sweeney's own company, I believe, or something like that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, not surprised, but hey, they still performed well.
Yeah, it did. Jason says there was more of an incentive back in the day to see a movie in the theater because you had to wait a while to rent a Blockbuster. That's very true. I used to go there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think if it was like that now, there'd be more people going to the cinema.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It's the problem.
Sean says the average viewers are greatly to blame too, but no one wants to insult the consumer. Abigail and other original movies did average at the box office, and Tarot did insanely well. We get what we pay for. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. I can agree with that.
But the thing is with horror movie normally, when it's a low budget horror movie like Tarot, I can't imagine that movie costing a bomb to make, right?
No.
Those movies always do well. Like Tarot, even if you go back years, Slender Man, which is awful, that made an absolute fortune at the box office.
Yeah.
And a small budget, and that's terrible. But like Abigail, because it was more budget too, because it was more produced, bigger names in it.
Yeah.
It did average because they spent more to make it.
Right. Yeah, because like for instance, The Strangers was a terrible movie, but the budget was like $8 million, and I think it's made over like 30 million now. Something like that.
Oh man, there's a profit already.
So it's profit. So that's why horror movies will always be made. They always will be made because there is a demand for horror movies at the theater.
Right.
Because that's why everybody says, why they keep making, why is there like 15 horror movies released a year? It's because people go to see them.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they'll always be there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Sean Kenny agrees with us. Yes. Driveway. I love this band. Driveway Dial's worst of the year is a landslide victory. Everyone, 2 people. The show. I referred 4 people to watch that to share my misery, and no one could make it 15 minutes in. Oh wow, that is funny.
Oh man.
I actually had my best friend, one of my other friends, my friend in Kentucky, and I said, you need to watch Driveway Dolls. And I got him to watch it on Peacock. And he said, yeah, it's a terrible movie. So.
You and Sean are bad people.
Well, yeah, I had him watch that, and then I recommended Challengers to him.
Oh, for goodness sake.
He hated that.
Not Challengers, Ryan.
I mean, but to be fair, like this year has been a weird year though for quality of movies. Like I was telling you the other night,
it's been awful.
I enjoyed Bad Boys, but I rated that movie a lot higher than I probably normally would, just because they're, I had fun with it, but I noticed that there's flaws in it, but there just hasn't been a lot of movies where we can look back on after this year and be like, I want to rewatch that one time and time again, with the exception of like maybe a couple of movies. it's been a
Yeah.
lot of like one-time watches. Like I felt this year has been a lot of I've had a lot of meh to okay movies, which if it's meh, it's definitely not getting watched again. Okay,
Hmm.
it might get a rewatch. It just depends. But
Right. Right.
you know, when you get those quality of movies, it's tough as a consumer. But I think what helps obviously is because we have the passes, so you know we
Hmm.
get to share the misery if it's bad. So I don't mind it if it's
Yeah.
bad in a sense, but you know lately,
Hmm.
uh, since before Bad Boys, you know I've seen some stinkers and it's been a little frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. So I
Oh
feel
man,
people's
I agree.
frustration.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, recently on Letterbox, I was looking at like my most recent reviews, and you know, like when it shows you like your 4 most recent reviews.
Uh,
The other week, man, it was between 0 and 2 stars. I was like, what is going on?
yeah, it's frustrating too because like you just it's like you feel like you wasted so much time because like you figure like most movies an hour and a half. I mean, you watch
Yeah.
4 bad movies in a row. It's frustrating.
I feel sorry for those 4 people Sean recommended. Drive Away and Falls 2, though.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, I was close to not making it through there either, Sean. So
Hmm.
that was a really tough one to sit through, honestly.
Preach.
And I'm telling you, it's still up at the top on the top of the list as far as worst movies this year. And I don't know if it's going to move. I don't know if anything else could annoy me that much.
Man, surely Challenges has got to be number 2.
No, Challengers
Oh,
is a little
man.
bit. It's in the top 10, but it's not. It's a little bit further down. There's been a couple other movies that have annoyed me, like the review I just posted for Summer Nap is what I'm gonna call it. Yeah, if you guys saw my review for Summer Camp that I just posted, oh my gosh, that was a boring movie. And you know, I try to be accepting of like those movies that because the movie is made mainly for seniors, but I don't know. I had seniors in my theater and they didn't laugh once. So if they're not laughing, who is it for?
One of life's greatest mysteries.
I mean, and then you know, watching Diane Keaton wear turtlenecks when it's 90 degrees out in the summertime. I mean, get a grip, lady. Get some summer clothes, homie.
Who are Diane Keaton just cold in the summer and she gets a negative review for it.
But she wears the same thing every freaking movie.
It's always a turtleneck, isn't it? And then like usually like maybe like a grey blouse.
Something like that. But it's so boring. Like switch it. Like I'm not saying you had to come out in a 2-piece or anything, but my God, wear something summer like. I mean, even when look, dude, there's a scene in that movie literally where she's in a raft, dude, and I swear she's wearing like a jacket or something while she's sitting in the fucking boat.
Well, I'm guessing at this point she just takes her own clothes to set.
What are you wearing this time? The same outfit I wore last movie.
At
Which
least
turtleneck would you like this time, Diana?
at least people recognize who I am. It's that
Man.
same chick with the same turtleneck.
Telling you.
Man, I've noticed that though. She wears the same outfit. I've noticed that actually.
She does every movie. And the movies are progressively getting worse. I mean, Mac and Rita, then we watched Maybe I Do last year, and now we're to Summer Nap. I mean, it can't get any worse.
It can, Ryan. Give it time.
Oh, man.
Oh man. Woo. Man.
Let's see what else we got here.
I can't wait to see some of that myself.
Sai says Pedro Pascal in Driveway Dolls is like Henry Cavill. Well, I think he got a little bit more screen time, but yes, I agree.
At least Henry Cavill made sense in Argyle.
Yeah, and he had a little bit more screen time, just a tad more.
Argyle's on my list as well.
It is. We might as well talk about it since he mentioned it.
Yeah. So, what, 200 million budget and it made 96?
Seriously, a February movie having a $200 million budget? What are they smoking?
Oh man, imagine how much the cast must have cost for that movie. Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, John Cena, Henry Cavill, Dua Lipa, Bryan Cranston, Samuel Jackson. Anyone else who I'm missing at this point?
I think that's it.
So I mean, already there I mentioned about 8 or 9 people with
crazy.
all the massive. I don't think there was any unknown actors in that movie unless there were extras.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure.
I think the problem is with Argyle is, I mean, of course, the cast would have cost a fortune to hire to start with.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things, man, where is the Kingsman franchise that popular as everyone thinks it is, or Hollywood thinks?
I think it's mid-range, personally.
Because, I mean, I know the first 2 movies, I haven't seen the Kingsman movies, but I know the first 2 are popular.
Right.
And I know the newer one, the prequel, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was as well received.
No, it wasn't.
And I heard that this movie was quite Kingsman-esque style.
Kinda, but the comedy didn't really work for me that much.
No, me neither.
And the thing is, that I don't know if it did over there, but it did not get a physical release here. It still doesn't have one.
I will have a quick look. That's an interesting question. I know the trailer was on all the time here, though.
Yes, we saw it a lot, or I saw it a lot as well. And I know it's on Apple Plus here. I know that.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I'm just having a quick look while we're talking.
I haven't heard anything about a physical release for it, so I don't know if it's getting one or what. I've been noticing that Apple Plus has not been releasing their movies to physical because another example, you probably forgot about it now. I bet you most people have forgotten about it on the stream if they're watching. But Napoleon, that doesn't have a physical release at all either.
Oh, okay.
So, and that came out in November last year.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's getting one or not.
So as far as I can see, very quickly, you can get Argyle on Amazon, but it's only for rent on Prime Video.
Okay.
So no, it didn't get physical.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because over here they probably want you to get Apple Plus so you can watch it on there.
And plus, if it flopped 100 million, more than 100 million, I can't imagine they would make that much money in physical sales for that movie.
You mean they're not going to do a nice steel book?
No one wants it.
A DVD steel book. That's what Walmart would do.
DVD steel.
Now, I don't know if you saw this, not to really get too much off topic, but you know that Best Buy, they had the Lionsgate steel books, and they were throwing them at Walmart, and they were putting them in the dunk bins, but they were putting them at the bottom of the dunk bins. So people were literally digging out all the movies out of the dunk bins, taking carts in and trying to dig to find the steel books. How stupid is that?
Oh, is that the steel books they had for $5?
Yeah, like they were all Lionsgate steel books that were previously at Best Buy.
Yeah, so I saw some people with pictures online, like with like stacks of them like this, and being like, guys, check like your Walmart bins. Yeah, okay, right. So that's what that is. Because I was like, wow, and steel books are cheap.
Yeah, that's why they are.
Did you get any?
Yeah.
Oh man. Fair enough.
Yeah, a couple of my Walmarts don't even have the dunk bins anymore. They got rid of them. Like I showed you that sad Walmart that they just take the
sad Walmart.
Dude, I went there literally last weekend. And so remember how I showed you the picture of them stacking the DVDs like on top of each other on a shelf? Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing now, dude. They're not even putting them on a shelf. It's so bad, dude. That's the worst Walmart I've ever seen, ever, dude. And like, what's funny is like all the DVDs that are stacked, dude. They're all like Top Gun Maverick.
I can just imagine the commercial you guys get to visit sad Walmart today.
It's a really bad one. I don't go there for any physical media. I mean, the stuff is
You'll
just
never
thrown.
find it.
No, you won't, because like they have stuff just like shoved in random on random shelves. It's bad.
Top Gun Maverick next to a carton of milk.
Seriously. Yeah.
Man,
It's just cracks me
that's
up.
great. Sad Walmart.
Seriously. Let's see. What else we got? Let's see. Sin, I think the short time between cinema and home release just enables piracy even more, though. Those copies are up very quickly as soon as it goes to digital. Very true.
They are, yeah. And I'm guessing it must be easy to pirate a movie nowadays
Yes.
compared to back then with the camera. So
Yeah, there's definitely easier ways for sure.
mm.
Sean says there's also a distrust in Hollywood from consumers, so marketing fails. Movie of the year, 90% critic score, 12% audience. They've been burned so many times, and I'll just wait till it's streaming.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but they still do it from time to time. You'll go see a trailer in the cinema or at home, and the trailer would be like a voiceover being like, or in text, best movie of the year.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
And whenever they say best movie of the year, I'm like, yeah, that movie's going to be terrible.
Well, they sometimes still do quotes on the movie packages too.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, not often, but sometimes. But I always find it like, I feel like with Rotten Tomatoes, you kind of know a lot of times, like on certain movies, what they'll rank higher than others. Like I feel like, and this feels like for any A24 movie, I feel like no matter what A24 movie it is, they usually always give it a high score. I've noticed.
Yeah.
I've just noticed that it'll always be like a 95% or a 92%. It's almost like A24 has some type of payment plan going on to these reviewers saying, you will rate a yes.
Do you honestly think, right? Here's a question for you. With the A24 movies, as you've just said, like they've always get really high scores. Do you think that it's maybe down to the fact people are scared to give it a bad review? Because maybe people saying they don't understand the movie?
I don't know. Not sure. We're not in that popular limelight to know that positioning. I mean, me and you, we're not afraid to say something's bad if we want. And I wouldn't change for anything as far as like, if I don't like something, I'm going to be honest about it. But I don't know, maybe that's different in the paid critic world. Maybe it's a different beast that we don't know about, where, people are getting paid to say yes or no. I mean, I know people that say that and they believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's true. Could be.
Yeah.
But I just noticed that for certain artsy movies, they'll give really good ratings. Or one thing I'll notice too is it'll be a really, really small movie and they'll post the reviews. And let's say it's like, I don't know, like 90%. You look at how many people reviewed it and it's like 12 people have reviewed it. I've seen that too.
Mm-hmm.
And you get deceived by that because I think it was last year I watched I was looking at like best horror movies for like the year on Rotten Tomatoes. And I don't remember what the movie name was. I can't remember now. I watched it last year, but it was some random movie and it had like a 98 Rotten Tomatoes score. But I was skeptical because I was like, oh, okay. It was only like 16 people reviewed it. So it wasn't many. And I watched it and I was like, they must have been paid. They had to have been paid. It was bad. I mean, it was amateurish too, the movie. So I wish I could remember the name. I don't now, but I think there's something up with it at times.
Oh, 100%. Got to be.
So,
If every movie's getting a high score of A24, it's got to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It seems like some bias there or something.
yeah. So I think there's definitely some truth what you're saying, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Talk about IMAX here. Sin is not crazy about IMAX. He prefers standard. Why is that, Sin? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, true.
Patrick says he likes IMAX for documentaries.
That's a good point, yeah.
Let's see. Got Side chiming in here on Furiosa saying, honestly think that Furiosa flopped because of the female lead. We don't like to mention the toxic masculinity. I can't say that word. Fan base. But I honestly think they're sick of the female boss-led movies. Maybe. I don't know. I personally don't care. It doesn't affect me.
I mean, I can't say you're wrong to an extent.
Yeah.
Sure. I think the problem is like Anya Taylor-Joy is a great actress.
Yeah.
So, she's probably going to do her best in that movie. Again, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment. But I can imagine from what people said, people say, like, yeah, she does good in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, there is a lot of just female-led movies nowadays. Well, there's more than ever, which is great in a way.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just pretty bad. So maybe some men might think, maybe toxic masculinity might think, yeah, actually, another female movie, yeah, I'm not going to bother with that one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of female assassin type movies nowadays.
Yeah.
Than there used to be. Like in the 80s, it was more of like a Stallone thing, or like Arnold. Versus now, like it's more of a wide spectrum.
Yeah, I think mainly what we said before earlier, though, Ryan. I think it's because it's been like 10 years. It's not a crying out for more Mad Max movie IP franchise.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the Mad Max movies they've got. Everyone treasures those because they love those movies,
and
they appreciate when they get a new one, but they're not like craving for another one.
Right.
Whereas Star Wars, people want more Star Wars movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Side chimed in. He said he can't blame the time gap between Fury Road and Furious. It's 30 years between Thunderdome and Fury Road, and Fury Road was successful.
Okay.
But
at the same time, with Mad Max, so I get where you come from, Si. My argument would be, though, that besides those original movies, which I know Ryan's been checking out, like those were old movies with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, 30 years. So in that time, there's no Mad Max movies.
Right.
So when they announced one day, we're going to make Fury Road starring Tom Hardy, you're going to have that level of intrigue plus a new audience to check that out.
Right.
And then when the original fans are saying, yeah, it's a fantastic movie, it's the best Mad Max movie. And then the new people watching it have seen it's amazing, you're going to have that interest. Because it's like Star Wars. Like when they did the original Star Wars and then brought out The Phantom Menace in 1999, which was 15 or so years later, people are like, oh, wow, a new Star Wars. Wow, we've got to see what they've done all this time later.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, again, Furiosa, yeah, it is a time gap. But again, there's no stakes to the movie because Furiosa's fine in Fury Road.
Right.
So it's a pointless prequel that should have happened years ago.
That's
whereas
true.
again, Thunderdome is not directly set with Mel Gibson back in Fury Road. It's a brand new character.
Yeah.
So that would be my argument for that.
Well, it's interesting too because Thunderdome is actually the lowest scoring from the fans in the franchise, and then you go from that to Fury Road, and then there's still interest drumming up. So that's interesting.
But then again, as you said, Ryan, if there was a bad score for Thunderdome, and that's what Mad Max fans have got, the last movie in that franchise was terrible or not as great, then all of a sudden they got a new movie. It's a bit like Indiana Jones 5, which is on my list.
Mm-hmm.
After all these years, everyone's like, oh, Indiana Jones, what they're going to do differently compared to Kingdom of Crystal Skull, which was panned.
Right.
and you're going to have that interest there. But that movie was not great. so
That's true.
yeah, I think it just depends on previous movies and the new one and the intrigue, really.
Yeah. Let's see. I will take a couple more, and I guess we'll go back. Jim says the Showtime. Hey, Jim. The Showtime problems are real. I sometimes have to miss stuff because of that. Yeah, I definitely agree. There's definitely stuff that me and Mike I know want to check out, and I know many of times Mike will be like, "Yeah, that we got that movie, but the showtimes are 8 and 10 o'clock at night." So yeah, I mean, you know that's late, especially during the week. You know, if you got work early the next day, yeah, it's too late.
Oh man, well I'll give you a quick example. So next week at my local cinema, they're putting on the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy. They're putting on one movie per day, right? So they fall on the Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday next week. Now I've seen Lord of the Rings back in cinema, and I've never seen it since, but I want to, and I really want to check the extended cuts because everyone says they're amazing. But they're showing it once a day, like one movie once a day. And those 3 days they're showing them, I'm in work, so I can't go see them.
So they're like at like 12 in the afternoon or something?
No, so in all fairness, they're like 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay, yeah, but they're 4 hours.
Yeah, but like next week I'm working from 9 in the morning until 8 at night.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So I'm gonna miss them, but that's just an example. That's free. I mean, free ticket sales for me. They've missed out on. That's just one person.
Yeah, I think the problem with that too is because it's a longer movie. That's a good point that you brought up because I've noticed that they have brought back some A24 movies that are going into IMAX. Like, I'm really bummed out because I really would want to see it in theaters again, but you know that Midsommar is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
They're putting that in IMAX. The problem is they're putting it on the night that I'm seeing that Ghost concert thing that comes out, and that's the only night, and it's one showtime. So yeah, and it's only for that one night. Yeah, so they did the same thing for Uncut Gems and a couple other the A24 movies that I was interested in seeing, but they do one showtime. So it's
heartbreaking.
You know, I mean, at least can you do it for like a week, maybe with one showtime a day? So at least you get an opportunity to plan for it. One day to plan for it, it's tough.
Yeah, or even like at least, you know, maybe one show for 2-3 days even.
Yeah.
Because I know that night you're going with your partner to see the Ghost, so you can't exactly cancel that to go see Midsommar.
Yeah. Well, which is fine. I mean, I've already seen it.
I mean, you could be like, oh, I'll be right back.
No, I mean, like I own it. I can watch it anytime, but it just would have been nice to see it in IMAX. Because when I went to go watch it, I watched it twice at the theater. But when I went to the theater, at the time I worked at Regal or your Cineworld, and we had it in a really tiny theater, so I saw it on a tiny screen both times. So like it was like a tiny screen, and there was like maybe like 6 or 7 rows like of seats. So it's a small theater. Right. So it just would have been nice to see it on a bigger screen, but it's all good.
Man, imagine that cliff scene in IMAX.
Yeah, and I think it may be just the standard edition. I don't think it's the extended edition because I have both the standard and the extended.
I didn't know it had an extended edition. Okay.
Yeah, it's the extended edition is only you can only get it from the A24 shop.
Okay.
And it's only Blu-ray. So I have both the standard and the regular edition. So I have two of the same disc.
and is it much longer, the movie?
It's like a half an hour more.
Does it make it better?
It adds in a little bit more of the character development for Florence Pugh's character towards like the beginning and just goes in a little bit more of that. Do you have to see that cut? Not really, but it's just if you like the movie as much as I do, it just helps. It makes it longer experience.
Yeah. I have to give the movie a rewatch.
Yeah, I know you weren't big on it.
I know Emma watched it maybe last year, the year before that, by herself, and she was like, there was elements she enjoyed, but she's like, it was too long. I was like, that's the same feeling I had originally.
Well, then you definitely don't want to watch the extended cut then.
No. But then there's Ryan, like, give me a 5-hour cut of Midsummer.
Oh, I love it. I love Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a couple more comments, I guess.
Sure.
All right. Talking about the trailer for Abigail giving away the plot, could you imagine if From Dusk Till Dawn was made today, they would have given everything away in the teaser for the main trailer release?
Yeah, they would have, yeah.
Yeah.
Twists, turns, the main cast, the whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, Si. They would have.
Let's see.
Do it with every other movie.
Hashtag sad.
Yes, hashtag sad Walmart if you're in the chat.
What's going on, T?
Hey, T, what's going on? Have you seen that with T? Hey, T.
I think I might want to get that. Yeah, dude, get it. It's in the A24 shop, man. Actually, while we're on the subject of that, T, I don't know if, I can't remember if you liked it or not. I remember you did it. I think you did a review on it. Love Lies Bleeding. They just put that in the A24 shop. I already pre-ordered it. And you can get 4K or Blu-ray. I got the 4K, of course. So I'll be getting a nice special edition of that because I don't think they're doing a retail release of that. They're just going to do the A24 shop release. So
okay.
Just let everybody know if you're watching and you want Love Lies Bleeding, it's only going to be in the A24 shop and you can pre-order it now. So there's your advertisement.
That can stay in the shop for me, but I hope you enjoy it, my friend.
Yeah, I know you weren't as big on it.
Nah, but I hope you enjoy it though. It's good as getting a release it. You can get it at least, you know.
Definitely. Alrighty, let's see. What's next on our list? All right, I got one.
Go for it.
You didn't see this movie, but I did, and I thought it was very mediocre at best. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I have that on my list as well.
Okay, so that one had a budget of $60 million.
Yeah,
and it only made $25 million. Another Henry Cavill flop.
An absolute stinker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Argyle flopped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything Henry Cavill at the moment is flopping at the cinema.
Yeah. Which is going to be interesting to see how he's like casted forward. If he's treated as like, hey, you're not a big star anymore. You don't draw.
I think the problem is I can't speak for Ministry because I've not seen it, but also we've not had it in the cinema here yet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably get it at Christmas time. No, not.
I didn't even know you didn't get it yet.
Nah, I don't know if we're going to get it.
Yeah, well, you're not missing much.
I mean, it's Guy Ritchie. I know I'm not missing much, to be honest. But no, man, you're right. So, I mean, like, that movie flopped. I mean, I personally don't get the fascination with Guy Ritchie. I really don't, personally. I mean, I know some people like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that had a good cast, right? It had Henry Cavill, Alan Ritchson. I mean, you've seen it. You'll be able to comment on who the cast is.
What's her face? Gosh, whatever the girl. Well, I forgot the woman's name now. I know who she is though. She played in Baby Driver.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know who she is. But
okay.
She was like one of the main stars in there, and then I think that was it. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else. But yeah, it's just the problem with that movie was I don't know. It didn't seem like it really had the intrigue from audience, really. My issue with it was it didn't have a lot of action, and it didn't really have comedy either from like how the trailer like portrayed it. So and there's no character development whatsoever in that movie. I don't know. It wasn't. It was very mediocre, and definitely nothing I'd rush to watch. But have you know that it's getting a very nice steelbook?
Of course.
Yeah, Lionsgate is doing a nice one with like a slip cover and everything. So again, another movie that didn't make money that gets a nice steelbook.
But I guess with that movie though, with physical media sales, it might be able to pump up a bit of the loss.
Right.
Whereas like that one we talk about Argyle, you're banking on 100 million in physical sales or streaming numbers to get that back to making equal.
Right.
At least Ministry, yes, it's down like 35 million, but compared to 100 million, it's a big gap.
Right. Yeah, it's not as much, but it's still quite a bit still.
Plus, though, you've got Guy Ritchie fans who will go out and buy that. You've got people who just collect every physical media title, so they'll go buy that. People who generally do like the movie will go out and buy it. So I kind of understand why they do steal books to push it. I mean, for you guys in America, because obviously you guys got cinema release of it, do you think it was released at the wrong time? Do you remember what was out at the same time?
I think it was released, was it April? Let me see.
I think it was a few months ago anyway. I think.
It was, it was April 19th. So I can tell you really quick because I have the calendar.
I'm guessing a big movie came out that week.
Oh, I can tell you really quick. I got it up. So let's see. So that week, Abigail came out.
Okay.
And then that Spy Family Code that you went to go see came out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Sasquatch Sunset, which that didn't do anything. And that was it that week. But the week before, Civil War came out. So, and then Sting came out too. But again, that's a small audience. So really the big movie was Civil War. And then I guess Monkey Man wasn't big, but because by then it was already out for 3 weeks then. So
again, I think Civil War, as you just mentioned, Ryan, like that was the big movie.
Right.
I think probably bigger than they expected it to be.
Yeah.
But with that out, people's going to go see Civil War. It was heavily advertised.
Yeah.
By A24. Abigail, we talked about, that did decent money.
Right.
Not amazing, but decent for a horror movie. But that Ministry movie, unless seeing your review for it, like Perez, we've had no marketing because it's not been here.
Right.
I don't know what the marketing was like for you guys at all.
Pretty modest. Nothing too crazy.
So so no wonder it's going to flop because no one knows about it.
Yeah.
Plus, it released at the wrong time. Whereas I think if that was maybe out in January, maybe because there's not much, and you got like Henry Cavill in there. Because January releases, it's quite dry. But if we go back a few years, Scream 5 was released in January, and that did really well. Bad Boys 3 at the time was released in January, and that did really well.
Yeah, I remember that.
So you put a decent movie, or at least a good cast movie, in January, because there's nothing else to go see, and these studios don't release movies in January because they know most part maybe people won't go. Like when Scream went, because that was mainly the big release in January, and that was it. Or Bad Boys, they're gonna do well because there's nothing else to go see.
Right.
So I think it sounds like that Ministry got released at the wrong time.
Probably, and then the marketing didn't help.
Yeah. Maybe if that was up against Bad Boys, maybe a little bit better because they're both action movies.
Well, this summer seems... I was going to say, this summer seems to be the year of nothing versing up against each other back to back. It seems like we get a movie and then maybe we'll get a movie the next week, or it won't be as big of a movie the next week. We're waiting a couple weeks. Because what I said with June, you have Bad Boys, then you have Inside Out, then you pretty much wait a week. Because I honestly don't consider Bike Riders as a big movie. And really a summer movie, even at that. That's something that should be fall, maybe. I don't consider that a big movie for summer. And then Quiet Place.
Yeah, and Quiet Place is not out until the end of June.
End of June.
So
and then
So that's a
then
few weeks gap.
Yeah, and then you have like Despicable Me that comes out, and Maxine is it's big in the horror community, but it's not a big summer movie. You know what I'm saying?
So I think Maxine will do well
Yeah,
because, again, the horror fans, people who've seen X and Pearl, I can't wait to see Maxine.
yeah.
But again, it depends when it gets released, because if there's no horrors out at the time and Maxine gets good reviews, which I can't imagine it won't get good reviews.
Well, it's getting released over here a week after Quiet Place.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
interesting.
But to be fair, there is no. I don't think there's any horror that in July, because the next week I think we get like a movie called Fly Me to the Moon with Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
And then we get Twisters, and then Deadpool. That's like the month for July.
Oh, okay.
So there's not any horror around it. But again, like, I don't think that's a movie where, when you look at the box office, it's not going to be like 60 million for Maxine. I mean, it'll do well, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to do that kind of money.
Possibly not. No,
I don't think so.
I'd be shocked.
I would too. It just doesn't have that mass appeal, because you have to look at it from a mass appeal standpoint. Like, yes, it is going to be popular in the horror community, but it doesn't have mass appeal to the everyday person.
Right.
And that's kind of what summer usually is supposed to be. But I remember right before COVID, I remember when I worked the theater, we would have 2 or 3 movies every single week going up head to head to each other. We'd have like, I remember we had a ton of stuff like coming out in the same week, 2 or 3 movies. And I'd be like, and everything would be packed, because they're all big movies. Cause that's when people, they're off school, they pay attention to the big movies, take their kids out to certain movies. Whether this year, like for summer, it feels kind of dry, to be honest with you. Like, there's a couple movies, but it just feels very uneventful for a summer,
I agree. Yeah, so, it's more spaced out than actual competition, really.
Right. Like, so it's not like where you have 2 movies versing up against each other the week, or like the next week you're like, oh no, like, what's going to happen? Like, for instance, obviously, Bad Boys is this week, and then Inside Out is next week. You don't really have to worry about the fans of Bad Boys not seeing Inside Out, because it's a totally different audience,
Right.
And then you don't have to worry about the fans from Inside Out worrying about Quiet Place, because again, it's different crowds, so it's all spaced out from each other.
I think the last genuine competition was Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Right.
2 different audiences, but 2 big movies at the same time.
Right.
And that was a massive weekend.
Yeah. I think also too with that, again, it's kind of 2 different audiences, because most of the women are not going to go see Oppenheimer.
Right.
And probably the only way that they would do that is if they make a deal with each other. All right, I'll see Barbie, honey, if you go see Oppenheimer.
Right. Right.
So, but that was just advertised well, and that goes to show you that marketing goes a huge way in the box office. And we haven't had that since. But a couple of things, like they tried to create Garfosa, which ultimately failed.
Or One Web as well.
Yes.
Bob Marley and Madam Web.
Dude, Bob Marley was so mid.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But let's see. We'll see what other comments we got in here. We got a couple here.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Maxine does well, though.
I do too.
I'm
really looking forward to it, dude. Like I was telling you, even the wife is looking forward to it, and the wife doesn't say she wants to watch too much. So
yeah, it goes to show, man. It goes to show.
Hey, Midwestern movie reviewer. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
You like Love Lies Bleeding? Awesome.
It's cool.
It's a good movie. It's definitely in my top for the year. I know Mike's a little bit opposite with me on that one.
It's not my worst or top though, so
that's good. T saying he enjoyed Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, cool, man.
Sai said, I like the first half of Ministry, but the second half is bad. Yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of opposite side because I feel like the first hour there's only like roughly 2 action scenes in there. I like the scene where they go into the camp and they're firing off the machine guns. That's pretty cool. And there's like the knife scene on a ship. That was cool. But then, like, towards the end of the movie, some of the action isn't too bad. I just wish that there was a little bit more because there wasn't a lot of character development to, really get into anybody. And it was just a very mid movie, unfortunately. Isa Gonzalez, that's her name.
Oh, okay.
I thought so. T saying Guy Ritchie's hit or miss. Same with me. Last year I didn't like Operation Fortune, but I liked The Covenant. What else did he make recently?
It kind of seems like with Guy Ritchie, when he's not doing his normal Guy Ritchie stick, it's a good movie.
Right.
But when he's doing his same old gag routine, it's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
that Operation Fortune didn't get good reviews at all.
The movie was so mid. Actually, I think that movie might have been more boring than Ministry. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that is bad.
So, yeah. Let's see. Glad I didn't rush to see out the theater. Yes, no rush. Henry Cavill is in the Highlander remake. Not sure how I feel about that. So, Sai, I watched Highlander last year, and I did not like it. So you don't have to worry about me watching it. If I'm thinking of the same movie, pretty sure I am. I think I am.
I don't know. I think like Henry Cavill, is just getting put in not the best projects at the moment.
Right.
I think he needs a new agent. Yeah. I like him. I really wish he got better stuff though.
I agree. Let's see. A few other comments in here. Megan did well in January last year. Yep, it did. I'm looking forward to Megan too, honestly. I don't think Mike is. I think you weren't as high on it as I was.
I wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
Fair enough.
So I've been intrigued to see what they do with the sequel though.
Yeah, I wonder if they're ever gonna kind of collide universes. Like everybody wants that Chucky and Megan reunion or whatever, or to team up or whatever.
I don't know. I hope not.
Who knows? I wouldn't put it past them.
No, me neither.
T says Bike Riders got pushed in November last year. That month really needed that movie last year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any buzz for that movie. And to be honest with you, T, I'm going to see that movie eventually. But I was telling Mike before the stream, there's a lot of random small movies coming out in the next couple weeks. So I'm prioritizing seeing those small movies to give them support over Bike Riders. I wouldn't say like I'm overly like rushing to go watch Bike Riders, but I will get to it eventually. But I'm going to prioritize the smaller movies first over that. So I'll get to it eventually, but I'm interested to see what people like, because, you got Austin Butler in there and, he came off of Elvis, and then Tom Hardy's an interesting choice in that movie. But I'm curious to see what kind of movie that is, because from the trailer, I'm not sure if it's going to have like a lot of action or if it's going to be a lot of the stuff with the bikers or whatever. Like, I don't know like how that movie, like from the trailers, it doesn't show too much, which is good. But I'm not sure like what kind of movie that's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like a popcorn flick like Bad Boys or anything like that.
Nah, it seems more like a drama from what I saw from the trailer.
Yeah, which I don't know how much massive appeal that's going to have.
I think that would have been better being released in November last year with the Oscar kind of movies.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I think in the fall time, there's weeks where they could have put that in like October, because like October and November-ish right now. When I was looking at the release schedule, there's a lot of nothing, honestly. I mean, I think like October, like the only big movies are like, like October, like towards the end of the month or stuff, because you got like Venom and you got Terrifier, and then also you got Joker that month. But like November, like there's a couple weeks where there's nothing. Like I think there's like a kid's Christmas movie or something. I think I saw. And I think that was it for November. Like most of the stuff is towards like Thanksgiving and stuff. So they could have put that around there. I don't know. I don't think this was the best release week coming up, but who knows? You know, maybe because I feel like people are going to skip it and go to see Quiet Place the next week.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't think people are going to give it a shot.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I don't expect much.
No. Same.
Hey, what's going on? I think it's pronounced, is it Chucko? I think that's like
Chukos?
Chukos. I'm so sorry if I got it wrong, because I know I've watched your stuff.
Well, hello either way. Hello.
Hey, either way.
Correct us in the chat.
Yes. I agree with the point that this summer isn't a stack. Bike Riders might be a sleeper. Maxine will do okay for horror fans. Biggest of summer is clearly Deadpool. Yeah. That's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
I think that's going to be $1 billion movie. Easy.
Oh, yeah. Well, because there's been no other Marvel movies, too, and that's what people are waiting on. Like, that will be the spectacle of the summer, so to speak.
Right.
And everybody will see that in premium formats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sai says Maxine is released on July 5th, UK. Mike the Times says doing a triple bill of Pearl X and Maxine 06.
Oh, that's good to know. I'll have to check if I'm working. I might be working, actually.
Oh, man.
Probably. Knowing my luck, I'm probably working. Well, thanks for telling me, though, Si. If I'm not working, I'm going to check that out. I saw Pearl in cinemas in Florida in 2022.
Yeah, that came out months before you guys got it.
Like 6 months? Something stupid like that. Yeah, so last year me and Emma watched X and Pearl because she'd never seen them. And she enjoyed them both. I think she preferred X, whereas I preferred Pearl over X.
I also prefer Pearl over X, mainly because I think Pearl has more style. I think X mimics a lot of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type style, which it's not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like Pearl had more style. I guess you could say like it has the Wizard of Oz type thing with the color, but I still think like it's a true like origin story of like kind of how she came about, which I'll never forget when Rashad fell asleep during the monologue.
Oh man, honestly, when I was with Rashad that day, man, honestly, firstly the part with the scarecrow, is like, is that really happening right now? And then at the end, he was like, "Yeah, I was actually kind of turned on a little bit by that." And then when Mia Goth's delivering like that 10-minute monologue, it's about halfway through, and he's like, "Is that bitch still talking?"
It's funny because I thought about him when I went to go see the movie. I saw the TV blow, I call it, because there is a monologue in that movie too, and I was thinking, oh, Rashad would be sleeping right about now because it went on a long time.
Probably. He lives a good nap.
Yep. Ministry was a tough watch for me. Just didn't quite get there for me. Yeah, it was a tough watch.
That's fair.
And we got my wife in here. She's saying, Mike, are you going to check out the new Ghost live concert movie?
So, So, believe it or not, I actually was speaking to Ryan about this because I was like, are you guys getting the Ghost movie? Because I know how much of a fan you are of it. And I said to Ryan, I was like, I only know like one song, but I'm not opposed to going to see the concert because then I at least get to see more of the music and see how they would perform live.
Right. Yeah, I heard they're very theatrical. She always tells me about it. So
yes, I think I actually might go see it.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Be intrigued by that review.
All right. Yeah, I'll even be like, yeah, guys, I'm a Ghost #1 fan now. Or yeah, not for me, you know. But yeah, I think I am gonna go see it.
I agree with that. This is for sure a fall movie, referring to Bike Riders.
Okay. Okay.
And it's pronounced Chukas. That's how you pronounce it.
What? Jokes? I'm really sorry. I really sincerely apologize.
Dude, clearly we're bad with our pronunciation.
It's like kind of chew and then OKOs? Joe?
I'm gonna call you Powerhouse Cinema so we don't fuck it up.
Yeah. Powerhouse Cinema, how are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Honestly, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, seriously. With all respect.
Oh, right. Ryan, you haven't showed Jess X?
Yeah, she hasn't watched it yet. We have it, so don't worry.
What are you doing, man? You need to show her X before Maxine.
Oh, we will, because she's watched Pearl, so okay. She needs to watch X.
Definitely.
I loved X. I still haven't seen Pearl. I will watch both right before I see Maxine. Yeah, dude, definitely check out Pearl. We definitely prefer Pearl more. Just the style of that movie. I mean, it's totally different movie from X. You know, X is way different realm. So, you know, just know that going into it.
Yeah, definitely watch it though.
Sure. Hey, we got Rusty in here. What's going on, Rusty?
Rusty.
It's going well.
Doing good. Hope you are.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, Rusty.
And we actually reached the end of the comments.
Awesome.
Do you have any other ones on your list?
Yeah, I've got just a couple very quickly. Just want to mention because we were talking about Disney a little bit earlier.
All right.
So I looked for last year, and kind of going back to the IP and non-IPs you were talking about before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Indiana Jones lost 143 million at the box office.
Wow.
Yikes. And Wish lost 131 million.
Oh my gosh.
Which is crazy.
And they both got nice steel books.
Yeah. But Indiana Jones 5, I mean, I dread to think how much they paid Harrison Ford for that movie.
Yeah.
And then, Mads Mikkelsen on top of that. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I swear I'm missing someone else out of that list. Like another big actor. I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember either.
But man, 143 million.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what's crazy about that, I always talk to you about the physical media aspect. That movie is not really readily available to buy in the store when it came out.
Oh, okay.
It was like the DVD was there, and then like a few of the Blu-rays sprinkled in, but like 4K or Steelbook was not available, which is crazy to me how much the movie lost.
Right.
In money. You would think that they would be like forefront putting that out in the stores. But
you'd think so. Unless the stores got the stock and just didn't put it out.
Best Buy was like that, so
sad Walmart who wasn't getting it.
Yeah, they're like that. So I mean,
man,
it could be.
I don't know. So with Indiana, with Disney, I'm not surprised they're going back to non-IPs. Really, that is going to make money,
right?
And plus, they need that. Deadpool's going to bring in a lot of that lost revenue to start with.
That's true.
Plus profit for itself to be successful, and then these all known IPs, they're probably going to end up making money for Strange World, Lightyear as well.
Right.
It's a shame. I like Lightyear.
Yeah, I got the Steelbook actually. So
me too.
I like the Steelbook. I like it.
Me too. Yeah, man, it's such a shame. It's a shame, but I think that's mainly on my list anyway. Done, yeah.
I don't think I have any on my list. I think that was it that I had. Yeah, it's all the ones that I wrote down because you covered all the other ones. So I'm all out on mine. If you have any more on your list.
Nah, that's about it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just hang out and we'll catch up on some comments. We got a few more.
Sure.
Jess says, if it's Mary on a Cross, you should listen to Hunter's Moon. It's featured on Halloween.
It is Mary on a Cross, yeah.
I told her because she was talking to me about it. She was mentioning it. She goes, "Do you know if Mike's seeing that?" I'm like, "I don't know. He might." He says, "I said he knows a song." And she goes, "Let me guess, it's Mary on a Cross." And I'm like, "Yep, that's the song."
Well, so this is the thing. So when me and you were talking a while ago, Ryan, about Ghost and Jess being a huge fan and stuff, I went on Spotify because I'll be honest, I'd never heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I heard that song, I was like, okay, I vaguely remember this song from somewhere. I can't remember where. But yeah, that was the only one I knew of.
Right.
Then I did listen to a few others, and I thought, yeah, they're not too bad, But again, it's come from me, who's not really a metal guy, so
yeah, and
music.
They have like a lot of their songs have like an 80s vibe to it. Like it's kind of, I was telling her when I first listened to them, their image portrays them as this like really like dark, like heavy music. And they're not like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're heavy music to an extent, especially if you don't listen to that kind of genre of music. Right. But not, I guess, what I was expecting. But but yeah, I've grown to like them. I don't know if I get into it as much as she does, but I do like them. I do listen to them on occasion. So
I get you. Okay, well, I'm excited to see the concert movie though. Definitely going to book my ticket. Definitely going to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Just because I don't know if I've experienced any concert movies that I can think of. Like
I saw the Taylor Swift one.
Yeah, I know you're a Swiftie. I know I heard you were clapping along, and you're getting everybody in the row to clap along with you.
I was. Man, I sat through 3 hours of that, and it was great.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, how was the reaction towards that? Like in the audience, are people like singing along, or like, because I heard people in the cinemas here, like they were really being real loud, and it was like making other people mad because I think it came out during like Godzilla and all that. I don't know if you heard about that.
I did, yeah, and like I wasn't the same one, but I remember like the Beyonce movie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Perez went to the cinema to go see a movie, and all he could hear was like the walls vibrating with Beyonce music.
That's funny.
To be honest, the screening that I went to, it was really good because like a lot of the time, I mean, it's a different atmosphere here than you guys in the States.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously over here, any movie, it's pretty much silence.
Right.
Throughout, and then obviously people will laugh and chuckle and stuff, but like it's silence mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But the Taylor Swift one, pretty much the whole audience, like they weren't on their feet dancing or anything like that, but pretty much like most people in there, including me, were singing along. It was good.
I'm interested to see what my experience will be like because the showing we're going to for that Ghost is sold out. So I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how. And the thing is, that theater that we're going to is not. It's the Regal. But it's normally not a theater where a lot of people go to, like, ever. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all goes down.
Man, I'm telling you now, Jess will be there. Mariana.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it'll be crazy, man. I'm telling you.
We'll see how it goes. I'm interested to see how it goes.
But it's interesting to see that is sold out.
Yeah, it really is. But they're a lot bigger than I thought they were too, because I didn't think they were as big as they were. But a lot of people know them. Like I've seen a lot of people on YouTube talk about them and stuff. So it's interesting.
So the funny thing is like so like like those concert tours recently. So we had the Taylor Swift one, then we got Beyonce. Then I think like Metallica had one as well.
And Nickelback had one, but I don't know if it was a concert or if it was a documentary.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. We didn't get that one.
I know they had that one because I remember Dave reviewed it, but I don't know if it was a concert. I think it was more of a documentary.
Oh, okay. We didn't get that one.
I think we had it for like a day or two, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when I saw that Ghost one and I looked in the previews, like I just saw the poster at first, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like a cool horror movie." And I clicked on it and I was like, "Hold on, is this Ghost the band?" I got punked.
Yeah, the poster is great. They do. That's
is.
one thing that they do awesome on is their artwork. Like even Jess, like she has a bunch of their T-shirts and stuff, and they always do really good with their artwork. Like I have to praise them in that department. Whoever does their artwork is great. They need to
Right.
keep them.
Yeah, give them a raise.
It's something.
But yeah, man, it's just interesting to see it sold out, and I think at least here in the UK, that's getting like a week release at least.
I think here it's only supposed to be 2 days. Like I think Jess told me it was a Thursday and a Saturday.
Are you guys not going to both?
I think once is enough for me.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah.
No,
so looking forward to that. What else we got? Sai says the Fall Guy was disappointing.
I would say I like Fall Guy, but I'm not in a rush to watch it again.
I had a better time than I thought I would, personally.
But is it a movie you'd like rush to rewatch again?
I don't know about rush to rewatch, but it's kind of like a comfort watch that you could watch again. Like,
yes.
It's like one of those. Like it's a good, like, honestly, and this is not to insult the movie, but it's one of those movies, like if you're like chopping onions or something, or like you're like doing something, you know what I mean? Have it on in the background.
Chopping onions.
I don't know. You're like preparing a meal or something.
Oh, Ryan, what?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to watch the movie. I'd be crying with the onions. Chopping onions and watching Fall Guy.
Guess you would call it the tear guy at that point.
Oh man. Chopping onions. I never ever thought chopping in onions I'd watch a specific movie in that moment. And how long are you chopping onions for?
I don't know. It's the first thing that popped into my head.
Oh man. Oh, that was great. I was thinking, I might say like something like a rainy day or something, you know. Chopping onions. It's that extreme. You might chop an extra onion. I can just imagine it. Just chopping the onion. Oh, Ryan Gosling.
Oh, I'm crying. Hold on a minute.
Chopping onions. Maybe.
Oh man.
I mean, maybe watching Gordon Ramsay cook and watching chopping onions on Oh man.
Woo.
Man, next time you're cooking, you better be watching Fall Guy.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I'm crying. That's an expression I never thought I'd hear in my life. I'm gonna put a YouTube poll tomorrow. What movie do you watch when chopping onions?
Oh man.
Yay, funniest comment of the year. Oh man.
Oh boy.
I have to take a breather.
Ooh, slug some water or something.
Go to the next comment.
I'm nervous about Maxine. I don't think Ty will mess it up. But these days, you don't ever know. So fingers crossed. I'm seriously stoked to own it.
Stalked? We know you meant stalked, but stalked. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm really looking forward to it. Sai says Antonio Banderas was in Indy 5. There you go.
He was, yeah. Man, he's had a run of bad movies.
Yeah, he has.
Cult Killer, just to name one.
Oh, man, that movie was pretty bad. Jess says she personally hates all the Disney remakes. Oh, okay, babe.
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel.
Has Jess seen Cruella?
I don't know if I thought that she watched that one with me. I can't remember.
Jess, if you've not seen Cruella, I really implore you to check that out. That's great.
Yeah.
It's very artsy style as well, like a cool graphic artsy dark style. I think you'd like it.
I'm looking forward to the sequel to that.
I am too, but I'm kind of nervous.
What they're going to do?
Because don't get us wrong, like Emma Stone just continues to be a bigger and bigger actress, it seems.
Right.
Especially with Poor Things and then this new Yorgos movie coming out, Kinds of Kindness.
Which, as of right now, I don't see any showtimes for that. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's going to be another...
So we get that June 28th, I think. Same day as Quiet Place.
Okay.
Bit of a weird date to release that one.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it the 21st, but I have not seen any showtimes for it. So that may be one I'll just have to watch later. Because that's one you're going to have to set aside time because it's almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So I don't know if it needs to be 3 hours, but we'll see.
Yeah. I would say Disney remakes for me, Cruella and The Jungle Book. The rest of them, I'm not really bothered by.
I never saw Jungle Book, so I can't comment on that one.
Ryan, check out The Jungle Book, man.
I'll have to check it out at one point.
I think, honestly, you'd really like it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people praise it.
It honestly felt like they really cared and put passion into that movie.
Yeah.
Compared to now, they just put them out, but...
Oh, yeah, like that Lion King movie? I have no interest. The Mufasa one? Like, seriously, zilch interest.
You'll be there day one.
No, I will be listening to your reviews from the house. Everybody that reviews it, I'll watch your review, but I ain't seen it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I actually did watch the live action, the first one that they did, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but you know that first one did $1 billion.
Oh, the live action Lion King?
Yeah, $1 billion.
Wow.
So if you want to know why they're making Mufasa, that's why.
I'm not surprised in a way, though.
Well, because I feel like Lion King was kind of...
I mean,
I don't know. It feels like it's always a staple in Disney movies.
I was going to say, arguably one of the biggest kids' movies ever.
Right.
From Disney, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So
I don't know how well Mufasa will... I think it will be successful because it's Lion King attached.
Well, it's also during Christmas time, so the kids will go watch it.
I mean, I'll go watch it.
I'll wait to your review. I ain't watching it.
Fair enough.
But who knows? You may love it. I don't know. I always say that. You may love it. Uh-oh. Rusty says Disney is poison. They used to label actors in the classic era box office poison when they got mad at them for whatever reason. Disney is film industry poison.
I mean, I can't disagree to an extent. I mean, the mouse will do anything for money. So.
Yeah.
I mean, look how they went on with the writer's strike and didn't want to pay the actors extra, but A24, a small studio, paid their actors extra straight away and got them back to work.
Yeah.
They didn't even argue on demands at all. They were like, "Yeah, we'll pay you extra. You deserve it. There you go."
Well, I think part of the problem too is you can't really escape Disney in a way because they own so many studios.
Right.
So like they're
You're
like
right. Yeah.
they're one of the big like they're one of the big whole like studios that owns everything, really. I mean, they bought out all those smaller studios and I'll say this with you, Rusty. I hate what they do with physical media, not putting certain titles on 4K. That drives me freaking nuts. Or not putting slipcovers on certain ones. That drives me nuts as well.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like certain movies just not getting the proper treatment they should get. That annoys me about Disney.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jess says, I like the old IP. Oh, IPAS, but they need new stuff.
Yeah, like the old IPs, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just I agree. I think what we were speaking about before, though, if people don't go out and support the new stuff, they're going to go back to what they know and what sells.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's a business, whether it's Disney, whether it's A24, whether it's Hulu, whatever company it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we were just talking before there. So Indiana Jones and Wish, so in total lost $270 million. So they've got to recuperate that back from somewhere.
Right.
And if they're not putting the money from the Disney parks into that fund for the movie studios, like say Deadpool comes along, which say $200 million budget or in total with marketing, and it makes $1 billion, then they've made the profit of Wolverine, but then they've recuperated that $270 million loss as well.
Right.
So I definitely agree. I mean, me and Ryan, with all the movies we see, dude, you know, we would love to see more original stuff, but again, some of it's not great.
Yeah, I agree.
All we said the other day, it all seems to be based on books nowadays.
Yes, it is.
Like that Watchers. Like, I didn't know that was based on a book until you told me.
Yeah, it's based on a book. I forget the name now, but it is. It's based on a book. And then M. Night Shyamalan's last movie, Knock at the Cabin, based on a book.
Yeah.
And like, you can't think of original stuff anymore?
Yeah, everything's on a book. I mean, and that's cool that it's, you know, the author's getting a recognition to say, like, oh, yeah, your story's good enough for a movie adaptation. But
yeah,
there comes a point when you're like, so does everything in a book need to be on the big screen? Like that Watchers would probably be good as a book because it would be probably more secluded and more isolation to it. Reading it,
right, and you can build more character development through a book than you can in a movie.
Right. Right, I agree.
Let's see, what do we got? Rusty says best new metal band to come out in the last 20 years is Love Bites. I've never heard of them, Rusty. Gonna have to look them up.
Me neither.
Gonna have to look them up. The best movie I've seen so far this year was Godzilla X Kong. It was a fun action movie. I like the monster fights. Fair enough. I can't say I agree just because I didn't care much for Godzilla, but I'm glad that you liked it, Jason.
I mean, it was a fun enough movie for sure. Like I agree, the fight was cool.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
I was disappointed by Fall Guy. I didn't care for the plot. There was a couple of fun bits, but for some reason I couldn't get into the movie.
I think, in a way, Jason, I agree. I think it's how they shot the movie. Like there was like a really cool action scene, but then it cuts to Emily Blunt in a karaoke bar. And then it goes back to the cool action scene where it's on like the skip or I don't know what it's called, the skip where they're fighting Ryan Gosling and that bad guy. Then it cuts to like a karaoke scene again. And he's dying to laugh over that. I don't know what he's looking at, but he's dying to laugh.
Laughing at the comments. And I think the problem why you didn't enjoy it, Jason, is you weren't chopping onions.
Ryan, how often are you chopping onions?
I don't know. I don't even know why I even thought about that comment. I don't know. I was thinking more of like maybe chopping like peppers or something. I don't know.
Again, how long are you chopping peppers?
I don't know.
I can just imagine you're in the kitchen, you're chopping up some peppers, chopping away, be like, oh, Jess, I'm going to prep some dinner, you know, I'm going to chop away. You are chopping the peppers. 2 hours later, you come back in, honey, I've chopped 2 peppers.
But don't worry, I got the onions done.
Got the onions done, and Fall Guy was great.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you.
Chopping those peppers and onions.
I'm gonna be singing along and crying. She's talking about Ghost.
God, I know. I can tell already.
I have mutuals with some of their merch artists. Yeah, remember you telling me about that?
That's really cool. I hope you're getting some free swag.
As she wishes. And she does like Cruella. She said, "Okay, so she has seen it."
Awesome. I've got the steel book for that.
Yeah, we didn't. We did not get a steel book for that. We did.
Guys didn't get that.
No, we did not get a steel book.
Oh man, that's a beautiful steel book.
Oh, maybe we did get that.
So you got. So hold on. So that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside, you get the 2 discs and like the future eyes, so the future design.
I gotcha.
Man, beautiful steel book. with a beautiful lady on the front.
Yes. And she did say that she enjoys the Disney villain stories better than rehashing the princess stories. Yeah, that's really true.
I agree, because I think with that as well, though, they have more originality to them because they just spin the story.
Right.
And you can kind of take some creative liberties to give them a story as to why they become like Cruella de Vil.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Whereas the Disney princess ones, you already know what happens to the Disney princess, so it's just telling the same story.
It's always that happily ever after kind of stuff.
Unless it's Cinderella's Revenge, which I watched the other day.
Oh, I can't wait for the review.
Oh, man. I think after this, I'm going to sit down quickly, record it before going in the shower.
Great.
It's going to be a good review.
We got Menagio in here saying, "Hey, guys."
Hey, Menagio. What's going on, man?
What have I missed? You've...
Ryan chopping onions and watching Fall Guy.
And box office talk.
Yeah, a lot of box office talk.
Have we seen the new trailer for Alien Romulus and Deadpool Wolverine? I've seen them both. I'll say this. I have only seen Prometheus, so I haven't seen any of the Alien movies. So I'm going to try to watch all the Alien movies. At least I'm glad it doesn't come out till August. So I have a few months to catch up and watch them all. So I'm going to try. But I won't promise anything, but I definitely want to try.
Right. Yeah, definitely. The new trailer looks good.
Let's see. Lady Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
I got Perez in the house.
Yo, Perez.
Super late to the stream, fellas, but 2 legends, so I know the chat has been top tier.
Man, it's been a busy night. You guys have been killing it with the comments.
Yeah, it's been popping off. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nagio Godzilla Kong is out. Yeah, it's out this week actually.
Oh, okay. Probably do well.
It says I haven't heard anything great about The Watcher here in the UK. The Watched. I was genuinely buzzing for this thing. I didn't pay for a ticket going to watch it on streaming. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are gonna just watch it on streaming. It doesn't have good reviews at all.
I wouldn't rush out. Unfortunately, I wish I could say you could, but nah.
And then he said, whoever's putting together a trailer for Alien Romulus is doing a great job. The person editing skills. Yeah, I'm intrigued by it because I think the director is from Don't Breathe, I believe.
Don't Breathe and the 2013 Evil Dead.
Yes. So right there, that kind of sells me because I like both those movies quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very intrigued. And I've heard a lot of people say they like the horror aspect rather than the sci-fi aspect, is what I've heard. But I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's different.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I like the horror aspect. Yeah.
Rusty says, we love the new Godzilla IP films, Skull Island, and all of them so far. I think they brought that IP back in a great way so far, anyway.
I think it's because they've leaned into the stupidness of it and
Right.
just a dumb, fun monster fight, and people's going to pay to see that.
Right. It definitely appeals.
So I agree, Rusty.
Anthony says, are there any movies this year that you were excited to see but fell behind on and still haven't seen?
Oh, okay. So movies that's already come out then. Yes, it says any movies this year you were excited to see but fell behind on. Okay.
I can't think of anything that I was like excited to see technically, because anything that I want to see, I pretty much see it right away.
Yeah, same.
So I can't think of any really.
I was saying earlier, like not excited to see, but I haven't seen Furiosa yet, so I need to catch up on that.
Right.
But yeah, I think same as you, Ryan. I think I've been there, seen them. I haven't seen Sting yet, so I'm not excited. But I would definitely want to go see it.
Yeah, I know Swales didn't like it.
Nah, not at all. I can't think of them. It's a good question, really good question. I'd have to have a look.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. I mostly see everything. There is a couple movies. There is one movie I wanted to see that we did not get here. A movie called The Beast with Jessie Buckley.
Oh, I never heard of that.
It's a foreign movie. I'm not sure if it's subtitled or not. I think it is. Could be wrong. But it came out like a month or two ago, and I wanted to see it, but we just never got it. I was very interested in checking it out. I know that it got good reviews, but I didn't really see any reviews on it.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what the buzz is with it, or if people like it or hate it. Honestly, I didn't like check Letterboxd or anything, just because I'd rather not know.
I like Jessie Buckley as well.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a quick look.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. Okay, yes. So I've got it here. It's got a 6.8 out of 10.
Well, Jessie Buckley, I could be wrong.
Let's have a look. It is a French movie.
Okay. No, it was Léa Seydoux or whatever.
Léa Seydoux, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued to watch that one. I would say like that one is the one that I was looking forward to that I haven't seen, but it's not really readily available. So I don't know what's going on with it.
Nah.
Who knows? I have to watch it at home. Let's see. What's your thoughts on the Venom 3 trailer? It looks like the story will be based off Planet of the whatever that symbiotes.
Symbiote, yeah.
And once again, Lethal Protector comic book issue where all the 5 symbiotes come. To me, it seems like they're going more so in the comedy route versus the first 2 movies, which I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure if the villain is as clear as like the first 2 movies personally, but I mean, I'll be there regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same as you, Ryan. Yeah, I think the trailer looks okay. Like, it looks like it's going to be an entertaining movie at least. Right,
and I know people don't really like I feel like I feel people are mixed on them. I feel like a lot of people do like the first one, but a lot of people hate that second one.
I'll be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of either.
Yeah, and then I know there's people like that too.
Yeah, like don't get us wrong, they're not the worst movies in the world, and they're both entertaining in their own rights, but I've just never really been huge on them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Sai says the 2 best films he's seen this year: Spaghetti Man and Late Night with the Devil.
Spaghetti Man's great.
It's epic. I mean, I wish we could get that on Steelbook.
It's only got a German Blu-ray.
That's it.
I don't know why Germany, out of all places.
Yeah. Honestly, Rusty, I know you're in the chat still. I would be very interested in you covering Spaghetti Man. I would love to hear your thoughts because I know you like to watch a lot of smaller stuff, and you always are giving me stuff that I've never heard of before, along with Blu-rays to buy that I add to my list. So if you're watching, Rusty, you should definitely check out Spaghetti Man.
Right. And Late Night of the Devil, yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to a physical release of that.
Yeah, I've been seeing like a physical release, I think, somewhere in Australia, I think they have one. And then they just announced another one for September. I don't know if I think it's a German release. I don't think I think it's some type of Europe release. I don't think it was a UK release. So.
That Australian one, they do amazing editions.
Yes.
Every movie.
Super expensive though.
It is, but you get a really cool edition though.
Yeah.
Like that Talk to Me actually came with the prosthetic hand and the marker you could write on and stuff. So
that was pretty cool.
How cool is that for an edition?
That was pretty cool. Together from the Life Foundation, Toxin, Lasher, Agony, Scream.
Venom. Okay.
I gotcha.
No idea.
I don't know either.
Nah.
I'm not sitting around like I do with Prey. If they don't release it on physical within a few months of premiere, and I'll boot it. Fair enough. He's talking about Alien Romulus.
Yeah, I get you.
Let's see.
Possibly.
It's a shame how Sony never went anywhere with the Spider-Man and the trilogy. Wasted potential, though. I'm surprised Venom even got a trilogy. I love the first one, but disliked the second one. And let's hope.
Yeah, you were just talking about that before. Yeah.
Let's see what else.
Be interesting.
He says, regardless, I'm intrigued by Venom 3, and I love symbiotes and everything associated with Spider-Man. Good.
I think you'll do well.
Let's see. The Dynamic Duo is
Yo,
here.
Tennis.
How's it going? What's going on, Tennis Reaper?
Doing good. Hope you are too.
Anthony says, I still want to see I Saw the TV Glow and If. 2 I was intrigued by, but fell behind. So much coming out these days. Yeah, we were talking about that in the beginning of our stream about how there's so much freaking content, like between streaming and theaters. It's a lot to keep up with, honestly.
I think you'll really enjoy If, Perez.
Yeah, I feel
really
like
do.
Like I didn't like it as much as Mike did, but I'd watch it again. I'd give it another try. I Saw the TV Glow, not so much. But I'd be interested in your thoughts though, Perez, about it, because I can't remember how he is on A24 compared to you. I think he may be mixed.
I know he really likes A24, so
he does. Okay.
He'll probably love the movie.
Yeah, he might like it then.
A lot of people are though. A lot of people's really loving it. I think I've seen you and maybe one or two other people who's not a fan.
Yeah.
So not many.
Tennis Reaper, I take my chances of watching Venom than Morbius any day.
I mean, at least he guaranteed an okay movie with Venom, so I understand.
Rusty says, not familiar with Spaghetti Man except for a discussion on Bollock Ford. I do like my B-movie sleeve cheese. I know you do. I remember.
Honestly, Rusty, check out Spaghetti Man and you'll thank us later.
And then Press says Late Night with the Devils one too. I missed out on that. I need to get to it. Heard nothing but good. Yeah, awesome. Pretty much everybody has said that movie's good.
It's awesome, Press. I think you'll dig that one.
Says both of you guys doing a great job with your movies review, whether it's Blockbuster or Sundance. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
It. Definitely appreciate
Thanks, man.
it.
Very kind of you. Thank you.
Menagio, which are we looking forward to next year? Superman or the Fantastic Four? They both release on cinema the same day.
Superman,
just because Fantastic Four, the last one was pretty bad. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about a new one. I mean, hopefully they do it justice. I don't know. Can it be worse than the last one? I don't know. Probably not.
Nah, but I think it'll be good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Superman more.
Let's see. That's why I'm glad I refuse streaming in total. I don't have to be overwhelmed or broke. Yeah, I honestly, I only have a few streaming services because I get them like my Max. I technically get, I guess I'm probably paying for it, I'm sure, through
Mhm.
my cell phone service, but I get Max for free. And then I use like Hulu through like a family member, so I don't pay for that. And the only one we really pay for is Netflix because my wife likes to watch some shows, but that's really it. We don't
Yeah.
really pay for streaming services, really. I don't really have the need to because, like yourself, Rusty, I have a pretty decent sized collection. And the fact that I go to the theater every week, it doesn't really call for me to, you know, have to worry about streaming too much. So
Right.
it's not really too much for me.
That's fair.
Hey, Del Boy's in here.
Hey, Delboy, what's going on?
Have both you're doing. Hope you're doing well. I raised a question when I was on Lon's stream. Is it Ian's stream? What
Ian
series
Stewart.
of films just get better and better? This is after a friend said John Wick was the best. John Wick 4 was the best John Wick ever. It's a
That's
good
a good
question.
question, actually.
It's a very good question.
Series of films get better and better. Okay, so I'm guessing as the entries go on, I'm guessing at that point, because he said John Wick 4 being the best.
I guess for me, like I like Harry Potter. Like I've always liked Harry Potter. Mainly because I read the books. And I feel like they kind of get darker and darker as you go along, and that final fight scene is pretty epic. So I would say that.
That's a good answer.
And I mean, I like the Hunger Games films too. I'm always like intrigued by them. I know that she's writing another book, and so they're supposed to do another movie. So I'm interested in that. But I feel like I'm a little biased because I really like Jennifer Lawrence, so that kind of helps. So I would say like those are the two, like Hunger Games and probably Harry Potter. Those would be mine.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I mean Harry Potter. Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban's my favorite out of those ones.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. But it's a good answer though because they did start to get darker and more like the story starting to pay off from the earlier movies. So
yeah, all I know is just don't ask Rashad who the Half-Blood Prince is. He'll tell you he's playing board games during it.
Yeah, he'll have no clue. I tell you one that I really like. I just had to think of it there, and I just turned around to my collection. I've just picked American Pie.
Okay, yeah, you watched all those recently.
Now, when I say it gets better, I mean up until the reunion, not the spin-offs. Definitely not those.
Okay.
But the American Pie movies, because like the first one's great. Don't get me wrong, first one's my favorite. But then I feel like the second one's really good follow-up. The third one's still pretty good. Then I felt like the reunion was better than the second and the third one. But in a way, it doesn't get better and better, but it kind of got better, then dipped a little, but then got better again. But overall, like it's still solid 4 movies in a row.
Right.
So yeah, for me, I'm gonna go American Pie because that's one I watched recently.
Yeah, I gotta watch those eventually. I think yesterday when I was doing my my Blu-ray hunt, because I showed you the happening that I got. I went to Second and Charles because they're like the only store pretty much you can get secondhand besides like Goodwill. And I did come across those, but I didn't. I think it was all the spin-offs. It wasn't all the original ones. I was like, oh, I'd want to get like a set worth all of them or something like that. But versus just getting the spin-offs. So
I know in the UK, I don't know about America. I know in the UK, I think they released all of them in a big DVD pack.
Okay.
Not Blu-ray. I think Blu-ray is like the original 1 to 4.
Okay.
And then maybe the spin-offs all in one as well, maybe.
Gotcha.
I got the Blu-ray of the first 4. I've got that one.
Nice.
That's probably the only one worth getting. But
yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even know how many of those films were until you did your ranking for them.
Yeah, I think 9 total. 9, 9. Yeah.
I had no clue there was that many.
I know. There probably shouldn't have been, but yeah, 9.
Yeah. I think we will add film series must have 3 or more titles in this series as a whole. Good luck, so I can think of it. Yeah, well, we found some. We got them more than 3, so we're good.
Yeah, found some. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Midwestern movie reviewer, she says, I didn't love If. I'm interested in seeing I Saw the TV Glow also. Yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it if you like it. Many people have liked it. I seem to be one of the odd ones that didn't care much for it, but I mean, there are people out there that didn't care for it, so I'd be curious to see if you like it.
Yeah, true.
Mortal Kombat 2 is finally coming out next year. I'm not excited, but more just curious about it. So I did a rewatch of the first one last year, and I liked it more than the first time around. So I would say I'm interested in the second one and curious about it.
Yeah, I definitely want to give it a rewatch before the new one comes out.
Yeah, and I kind of briefly played the games a little bit growing up. Like, I don't know like every character or anything like that, but I remember playing the games a little bit.
Okay, yep.
I'm really looking forward to Avatar 3 next year. Yes, looking forward to Avatar for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Rusty says John McFor is the best until that ridiculous 15-minute get up the stairs scene at the end. So I still consider Wick 1 the best. So I have not seen the fourth one at all. I didn't really intend to, just because I heard a few reviews about it, and normally I do like my own decision to just watch stuff, but I don't know. I just wasn't really interested in watching a 3-hour movie on that, and just some of the things that I've heard. To me, like, I think it should have stopped after the second one personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, so I think the fourth one has redeeming qualities. Like, there's some really good action scenes in there.
Okay.
I can't doubt it. Some of them are like fantastic, but it's literally suspend all disbelief in that fourth one.
That's tough.
Yeah. You'll see what I mean when you watch it one day.
Yeah, they have to spare 3 hours.
Yeah. True.
It's a long time.
True.
Hard to think of an IP that didn't fizzle out with a bad entry. Hunger Games, super fanboys I am is one, but hard to think of another. I mean, I guess Lord of the Rings keeps going. I mean, they got the original trilogy. I haven't seen any of the Hobbit movies. I definitely want to watch those. I'm honestly waiting. I'm really hoping this year that when Black Friday comes around, they have a sale on those 4Ks for the Hobbit movies, because dude, it's always so expensive. It's always like $70 for like the 3 movies or whatever. I'm like, so much. I would love to get it cheaper. So because that's what I did with the trilogy of the original Lord of the Rings movies. I got that for like, I think like $30 or something for like 3 of those, and they're all extended edition, which is freaking awesome.
Oh wow!
So waiting pays off.
Yeah, definitely, it's a bargain.
So yeah, I think Lord of the Rings should be in there too if you're into that. And he says, yeah, I think Lord of the Rings and Hobbit can apply. I love them all, the extended versions. I gotta watch the Hobbit ones. I've never watched them. Oh, I said I was going to, and I need to. And I know they're coming out. That's another movie they're coming out with this year. Is they're coming out with another Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, animated movie, I believe.
Oh, it's an animated one? Okay.
I think. I might be wrong, but I think it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Guess we'll see on that one. Thanks for the answer. For me, I don't think John Warwick is best, with John Wick 1 worse, which is what the question implies, but I love that question. I thought you might also agree. Stream, both of you. Thanks, Del Boy.
Yeah, thanks, Del Boy. Appreciate it. No, but it's a great question, though.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Okay. Yeah, I think we have to wrap it up too, because I'll have to go to bed soon.
Yeah, man. I mean, I appreciate all the comments and everybody tuning in and
definitely
keeping up with the podcast. This is great to come back to after a couple of months, and you guys supporting and the comments and everything. Definitely appreciate it, and even chiming in on the subject matter too. Definitely appreciate it, guys. And if you're not subscribed to Mike, what is it over there? Over there.
I mean,
subscribe to that legend over there, and
subscribe to that guy that right there.
Yeah, subscribe to mine too, definitely. Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. I guess this is a good way to wrap it up. I mean, we're closing in right now on literally 3 hours exact. So
you could have watched John Wick 4, Ryan.
exactly, I could have, but I chose to do this instead.
But no, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll definitely be back with another episode. I'm not sure what we've got a few topics, but if you guys have any suggestions, maybe we'll put a poll out. Maybe
Yeah.
let you guys vote for the next one. Wait and see.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll wrap it up here. Peace and out.
See you guys later.
Later.